Well, a very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Flight Deck to Sim live stream. Today it's the 6th of August 2021. It's 33 minutes past 6 in the evening in the United Kingdom. We're back at X-Plane 11 and we're now taking our second ever trip in the excellent iniBuilds Airbus A310. Last time we took this aircraft was a pre-release preview. It was released the next day, and now we have our Alpaca Airways livery-themed aircraft thanks to one of my members, Duck Whisperer, aka Moen. So Alpaca Airways, we're always looking to utilise all sorts of aircraft for our fleet. A310, we're going to be flying from Riga today. Lovely just sim scenery here to Frankfurt. Full load of passengers. We're going to take 235. Flight time about 1 hour 45 minutes, both in Riga and in Frankfurt. They're hosting busy Vansum events here, so there's going to be loads of traffic. Maybe we'll get some CPDLC usage as well, but looking forward to this sector as well. Who we got here in the house then? Everyone's already asking for the excellent livery. You're going to have a look at it very shortly. We've got, oh hold on, let me zoom on in here. We've got lots of little hidden parts of the livery as well, thanks to the livery maker. Some nice funny bits to show you as well. Hope you're doing well, Charles Darwin. Hope you're doing spot on. He's his evening captain and everyone watching. Paul C's here as well. Evening all. I've just finished a busy week of nights, so looking forward to this. Great to be able to watch live as well, but always enjoy the recorded streams and always give the thumbs up. Thank you very much, Paul C. I always appreciate the thumbs up on the videos there. Someone's having fish and chips. Andy H1302, that looks amazing. Everyone's looking very jealous. Andy Roberts would like some fish and chips. I just had a co-op pasta ready meal this evening. Marianne is going to work tomorrow. That's one of the main reasons I'm streaming. Say again, Marianne. Quiet. Oh yeah, I've got to be quiet because Marianne's got to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning. She's on a really early start tomorrow, so she's got her first flight in a long time, so she's really looking forward to that as well. Anyway, here is the iniBuilds Airbus A310, all ready for boarding. We're on a remote stand here in Riga. It's actually quite convenient. We don't need pushback. We can just make a left turn here. Passengers have just arrived, waiting on the to start loading. The cabin crew have just got to complete their security checks first as well. Otherwise, I've done nothing. Completely cold and dark. We're going to do a full setup like we do with every live stream, going through the intricacies of the checklist, making sure it's all ready to go. Liam Barwick, yes, there are other ready meals available. Yes. Co-op just being one supermarket, of course. Owen Finnegan, my fish and chips are inbound. Is everyone having fish and chips this evening? Incredible. Tony Files, the livery looks amazing, I know. This is thanks to, well, it's initially Jamlin that built this one of the members, and then it's all been based on a lot of the other aircraft there. This one's actually done by one of my members called Moen, and the interior as well in this aircraft looks spectacular as well. Not many of these flying around, unfortunately, but we'll always be flying them here at the land of Flight Deck to Sim there. Hope you're doing well, Anthony. He said, very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Flight Deck to Sim live stream. Blah blah blah. Yeah, same start every time. Always will be. Superb. There we are. Anyway, let's zoom on into the aircraft here. Very busy here in Riga already. This is the capital of Latvia. There's our alpaca feed ready to go on board the aircraft for our catering. What helps if I actually can find the stairs? There we are. Up we go. Alpaca Airways. Ah yes. There you go. Have a quick look at that first there. Some favourite Flight Deck to Sim isms here. So Unbelievable, I can see. Julia Roberts, my favourite actress. Chicken, will a very good day. Blah blah blah. Boga Butter. Unbelievable. Thanks, Duck Whisperer. aka Moen. Anyway, let's jump on into the flight deck. Cool. So yeah, as I said, we're completely cold and dark. Now, one of the things I did earlier, I didn't have time to do a full test sector, but I did manage to get a departure. For some reason, I don't know if this is the update version 1.01, but I can't fetch my SimBrief operational flight plan from SimBrief. I can't sync it anymore. It just means I have to put the routing in manually. I did see someone on the forums had the same issue. I've checked the username Flight Deck to Sim, which matches my SimBrief profile. I've also checked the iniBuilds folder, and every time I fetch it, it is updating a .xml file, so it is receiving it. It's just not being able to be read by the aircraft, unfortunately. But anyway, let's see. Here we go. Oh yeah, I did see someone that said there was an iniBuilds A310 pilot here at the start. He's going to be judging me. I can't remember where he is, but yeah, don't judge. I've never flown this aircraft. We'll do everything as realistically as possible, or try to anyway. Cool. So let's get the show on the road here. So let's get the batteries on, which are here. 1, 2, 3. Just turn the music down a little bit here. External power's already connected. There we are. Put the dome light on. Keep it nice and bright. Navs can go here to nav and logo 1. That shows you have AC power. Just for a little bit of immersion and realism, if we go here to ground services, we'll reconnect the catering and go to here. If I redo this, I think it'll start loading the catering and the cargo. There we are. So there's the alpaca feed coming onto the aircraft. Here's the 2 baggage trucks. We've got 2 cargo crates to be loaded here. We're simulating 5 tons of cargo to be shipped to Frankfurt from Riga. What's Latvia known for exporting? I don't know, but they're taking a lot of it on board today. You can see the rear door opening as well with the alpaca feed. Amazing. So we've done that. Let's carry on with the rest of the pilot flying flows. So verify the wiper switches are off, the gear lever is down, we have 3 green lights, flaps, slats are up as well. Weather radar, verify it's off, which it is, system is off, and we can then carry on with the rest of the checklist here. So the first thing we're going to do, before we start the APU, we need to check the APU fault and fire test. So we check the squibs, and hold it down, we have loop A, I think loop B, and you'll see the fire light illuminates, and there's the fire bell as well. APU fire ECAM checklist is there. So that is complete. External power we've already connected. RSs we can select to nav, so they are all the way up here. 1, 2, 3. Oxygen low pressure supply switches, verify that is on. It is already on, there we are. Annunciators test. There we are. Lit up like a Christmas tree, and wind shear warnings galore. Excellent. VHF radios turn on as well because we're on VATSIM, so push that down, and don't forget to pull this up as well, otherwise you won't have any audio in the A310 or A300 there. Perfect. We'll now load up the flight management computer. Charles Darwin, the space shuttle cockpit is so beautiful in my opinion. Yeah, it really does look like the space shuttle. It's such a massive overhead panel with a lot of switches and a lot of buttons here, but quite simplistic in use. You know, you just push the button to start the relevant system, and otherwise it's pretty automated, say compared to the 747 we used a couple of streams ago. Can't wait to take that flying as well. Ollie Crockett, apparently Latvia is famous for exporting wood and wood products. Well, there you go, we're carrying trees and tree related gifts. Wooden related gifts, there you go. 5 tons of canned sprats in oil. Okay, sprats in oil and wood, there we go, fantastic. I'm sure Latvia does other exports as well. Laura V, good self-manoeuvre stand, no need to worry about how drunk our Latvian tug driver might be today. Yeah, we should be able to have no problems here. I did actually choose to stand adjacent here, but there was another aircraft there. Looks like they've already pushed back. I've got Ryanair Uzbekistan here, Wizz. This is a huge base for Baltic. Is it Air Baltic? Yeah, Air Baltic here. But yeah, plenty of aircraft on the network today. Tim Waters, we've got Pinocchio in C3A2, brilliant. Hope you're doing well, Tim. Right, so back on here. So sort of doing a panel scan here. Check the flight recorders in ground control. These fault lights are normal. We have no hydraulic pressurization to the aircraft at the moment, with the lighting set here. Electrical system, you can check the voltage for each system here. So on the, I mean, I leave it in bus 1 and bus 2, but for example, if you select external power, you can see your 400 hertz and 115 volts. Which is pretty cool, sort of like the AC-DC metering panel on the 737 there. Electrical systems configured for now. The generator switches you could leave on, and the APU generator switch on. Let's get the coffee on too. Might have to wait a little bit longer, but I'll try the pitch trim and ATS. Yeah, we need to wait until the IRS is aligned, I think, to be able to select the pitch trim switches to on. Fuel pumps, we select those all on, regardless of the configuration of the fuel. We still need to obviously uplift the fuel as well, so we'll leave the seatbelt sign off for now. And cockpit door we'll leave unlocked for now. That's ground ventilation, ventilation for equipment cooling to keep the equipment cool. Window heat and probe heat we can turn on at this stage. Pressurization panel is set, so we just want to make sure it's in auto. Arm the emergency exit lights, and the air conditioning pressurization system is set. What's the temperature here in Riga? I don't think it's too bad, so I don't think we don't need the APU on at the moment. There's no sun on the aircraft shining down on it. We've got 80s here, so we'll grab the 80s in a second. I just want to see what the actual temperature is right now according to the METAR. 18 degrees and light rain, so yeah, it's a nice day here. Now let's look at loading up the flight management computer. So we have CPDLC enabled on this amazing add-on. We'll hopefully see if we can utilise it en route for departure. I don't think they're using it here for ground, for clearance and stuff, but we will use it later on. Now, if I go here, I don't know why it's doing this, but I've got my username. That hasn't changed, Flight Data Sim. If I press request company route, it's just not loading it in. I'm not sure why. I did see, as I mentioned, someone on the iniBuilds forum was having a similar issue. Yeah, we could just put it in manually. It's not a big deal. We'll take our time. Ollie Crocky, go away. Yes, last stream when we flew the Zebo a couple of days ago, I might have mentioned, let me just check what the altitude, the elevation of Manchester is today. Yes, as if it was sort of implying it changes, but yeah, good one. Right, Flight Manager Computer. So, let's go to the init page. So, we're flying from Riga, which is EVRA, to Frankfurt, Echo Delta Delta Foxtrot. Our alternate is Frankfurt Hahn, which is very close to Frankfurt Main. It's an airport used by low-cost carriers, Ryanair and Wizz Air maybe, but we'll go there if we can't get into Frankfurt. We'll align the IRS, alternate routing, we won't bother with that today. Now, cost index, the flight plan doesn't generate a cost index. You have to kind of work backwards as Simbri for the A310. That is, you choose in the Simbri flight plan how many passengers you want in a cargo, and then just take the zero fuel weight and work backwards. So it didn't generate cost index. I think someone told me 15 is around Mach decimal 80, so I'm going to stick that in now. Thank you very much to Vatsen. Oh my goodness, Vatsenfjord for joining us a member. Glad you're enjoying the content. You'll get invited to our members only Discord. Enjoy using the custom modes in chat. Welcome to Team Green, thank you. And thank you very much for subscribing, Supersonic Jellybean. Welcome to the channel. What a username. So we're going to cruise initially. You'll see at 380 is our filed level. I'm actually going to take an extra 30 minutes of fuel, which just puts us below the maximum altitude of 380. I think it was like something like 378. By the time we get to the cruise level, we should have burnt enough fuel to get to 380, but initially I'm just going to put 360 and advise ATC. Call sign today is Alpaca 31 X-Ray Alpha. The rest we put in here, cruise wind, put the average wind in 254 at 22. So, we've put all that information in, we can now load up the flight plan. So let's grab the ATIS first, just get the weather. That's a good way of checking that VATSIM is working. Just try the frequency here, 120175, so tune. Fortunately, this panel is not compatible with the Logitech radio tuning panel, which is a shame, but it's not a big problem. Looks like it's not on voice, unfortunately, but I'll grab the ATIS information now and tell you it's information echo at 1720 Zulu. It's about 25 minutes old. Expect ILS approach runway 36. So runway 36 in use, transition level 65. There's birds in the vicinity, virtual birds. Taxiway Charlie between Foxtrot. Runway 36 is closed due to work in progress. Surface wind 040 at 12, 10k, light rain, scattered at 4,900 feet, and QNH is 1004. So, let's set the QNH. 1004, set the standby altimeter as well. And what I'll do, I'll just tune up ground 118.8. We'll monitor that frequency whilst we carry on with the rest of our setup. There we are. There we are. So I'm just going to turn that very low, but you can hear the ATC in the background there. So hopefully it won't be louder than what I'm talking. There we are. So we've got the ATIS. Let's now load up the flight management computer. So here's our flight plan. Runway 36 in use. So go to here to SID. Runway 36. We're going to fly an ASCOR for Golf. Insert to go from here. ASCOR. I love the ability to load the flight plans isn't that difficult. I do it on the 737 in the Zebo mod every stream, and we do it in the real aircraft. We don't have company routes, so we put it in manually every sector. So from ASCOR, Lima 733 to Opvov. There we are from Opvov. It's Romeo 239 to Ranox, or Ranok I should say. From Ranok it's Lima 733 to Besmi. And from Besmi we've got some direct here, so it's direct to Aluka. From Aluka, it's direct to Cossacks. Cossacks, direct to Nimab. From Nimab, it is then the Tango 171. And you can see that should take us all the way to Lasto, so we can skip out the other one, I think. Yeah, it's put mix in for us, there we are. So from Lasto, it's going to be Tango 178. Merchandise, Orov Skate, thank you for buying a classic t-shirt. That's really kind of you, sir. Thank you very much. And thank you for continued support as a member as well. My goodness, that's very kind. I can't see the comment though, because it's so small in the little box there. Thank you. Oh, I'm distracted now. That's very kind, Orov Skate. Lasto to Tango 178. And that's going all the way to Karax, which is our arrival. There we are. So, arrival, we can select Frankfurt. It's an interesting arrival here. It's one of those point merge RNAVs. We'll have a good look at that later. Could be great fun because I've not even practiced it in this aircraft. So, Carav to Alpha. I'm expecting ILS 25 right. Could be any one of the 3 runways facing in that direction. And it'll be the 426 transition. For some reason, it's spat out my arrival again. Carax to Alpha. There we are. Insert flight plan. Got a few discontinuities to deal with. So if we go here to plan, we should be able to see our routing. Go from there. I'll have a look at the chat. Let me just get the flight plan all sorted, guys. So from Carax, route direct to Ged. That's actually guidance from my operator. That's what you do. So we can clear that discontinuity, and then from 416, just go direct to 426. So delete the vector and the discontinuity. There we are, so it's connected it 416 to 426, so that takes us all the way down for touchdowns. The routing I'm happy with, and we can select that back to map. And we've done that. I now need to do init 2. If you don't do this before engine start, you won't have a chance of doing it again there, so we need to load up the aircraft with fuel and passengers first. Let's have a look here. Daniel Parker, iniBuilds have done a cracking job by the looks of it. Thank you for the stream. I'm 30 grand short of joining you on the flying harp. I beg your pardon, Daniel Parker. I don't suggest speculations here. It might be very blindingly obvious who I fly for, but best of luck with whatever airline you choose to recruit for. I should always proofread. Charles Darwin, I don't think it's much scarier looking than Cold War Russian aircraft that I fly flights. It's basically the entire cockpit covered with switches and buttons. At least it's in Western British, English at least. Who else we got here today? Kind of curious, how do you make tea, coffee on airplanes? Very good question, Charles Darwin. We have, if iniBuilds are modeled around here, we actually have a boiler at the front and rear galley. Maybe it's right here in this corner. Oh. No, it's not there, but in the 737, when you next board, if you before you turn right of the front seat to go down here, you'll see all the catering. There's a little coffee maker there, a little boiler there. It just creates hot boiling water, and just bring your ready pack coffee or tea and go from there. Aaron Hastings, any idea when an operator doesn't use company routes? Is it common amongst operators not to use them? I think you probably need ACARs or something like that to send the routes to the FMC, but we don't have that. It's really not a big deal. It takes... He's shouting down the radio. I'll turn that down. So yeah, it's... it takes 30 seconds to stick the routing in real life, and on the return sector in the cruise you could just put the route for the return sector on the way back there. Robin Klein, well, normally in Frankfurt they take off on the centre runway and land on the other ones. Yeah, fingers crossed there. Aviation, when would you ever use F2? What's that? I don't know what you're referring there to. Aviation 24. That was a racing series of some sorts. Right, so now we can load up the aircraft with fuel and passengers. So let's go here to load sheet. So as I mentioned, you've got to kind of work backwards with SimBrief here. So in SimBrief, what I usually do with other add-on aircraft is I use the loading tool in the aircraft itself, choose how many passengers I want or cargo in the loading tool in the aircraft. That generates a zero fuel weight, and then I put that zero fuel weight in SimBrief and put the passengers and cargo in auto. work backwards with the iniBuilds aircraft now. So what you do on SimBrief, you select how many passengers you want. So I had 235 passengers out of 238, completely full flight, and 5 tons of checked-in bags. Okay, and that generated a zero fuel weight of 104.7. It's only 10 tons below the maximum zero fuel weight of the aircraft. So 104.7 we can put in here. So very heavy tonight. Fuel-wise, this aircraft guzzles about 4.2 tons an hour. We need 11.8. I said we'll stick on 30 minutes of fuel. Weather's okay in Frankfurt, a bit windy, but it's down the runway. 30 minutes just allow for any holding, and that's going to be, let's call it 14 tons, okay? 14 tons, around 2.1 tons an hour this aircraft runs. Sorry, 2.1 tons in 30 minutes. So, 14 tons. That's done. We now go to load, payload and fuel. If you watch the aircraft, it should hunker down a bit on its gear. Ever so slightly. There we are. We'll just make a few notes here because we need to insert this information to the FMC. So zero fuel weight 104.7 and 14 tons of fuel, and CG's 26.2. So let's send that to the takeoff performance calculator. Tell them we're in EVRA. Runway 36 for departure. We can fetch the weather from active sky. Who's that taxi past? Ah, an excellent choice of aircraft, sir. 737-800. Brilliant. There we are. So there's all the information from the ATIS. 040 at 12, 18 degrees, QNH of 1004. Now it is wet. Did say it was light rain on the ATIS. Anti-ice we won't need for departure. Takeoff weight 118.3 tons. We'll use the slats and flaps at 15 degrees today. Air conditioning on. We'll try and reduce thrust or flex temperature. Let's compute that. Andrea, fish and chips and Guinness and flight deck sim looking good. Cool. Fish chips and Guinness. Oh, it's gonna smell great in about an hour. You burp. Amazing. Not a big fan of stout, but do like my fish and chips and beer inside. Right, there we are. So runway 34, 3,200 meters available, full length. That we can accept. Flat 15, flex 57 degrees. Here's our V speeds there. So we'll send that to the FMS. Send. Now we are received company data, but before we do that, I just want to go to init page 2. Block fuel, we'll put in 14 tons. Zero fuel weight was 104.7. CG was 26.2. And that's all the information we need. You see, look, max flight level 378, so just below our maximum flight level we can fly today. Transporter for life. In the future, could you fly from Birmingham to RMU or to Parma in the Zibo mod? We've done loads of flights to Parma. RMU, is that... that's the new airport... not Menorca. Near Alicante. I've forgotten what it's called now. Yeah, I know the airport you mean, though, because it used to be a different code there. Aaron Hastings has an Irish at finding out flight doesn't like stout. Sorry. Yeah, I'll try. I can't remember what RMU is. It's bugging me now. Anyway, as I said, 360 is as high as we're going to fly at the moment because 380 is a little bit out of reach. So that's loaded. Let's go to performance page. 155, 157, 161 was V2. We should be able to turn these on now. There we are. Let's bug 162. So we should have 4 minutes. I preset that. I have to push that into preset. What have I forgotten here? Let me just set the trim first. 1.6 units down. Out there, and the I was going to set flex 57 degrees. So flex 57 degrees. There we are. Let's try that preset again. What have I forgotten here, guys? I swear you push that and you get presets illuminate. Did on the test sector. Keep an eye on that anyway. Yeah, I'll try again in a bit. So long as it maintains that speed initially when we pitch up, that's fine. Superb. Mercia, thanks Edward. RMU's Mercia. Yes, they used to fly into a different airport, and then it was a shared military airport. I think they opened a new one now. Right, I think we're all good. Flight management computer's loaded. Let's just set up the MCP. So decision height -5. Expecting a 4,000 feet stop altitude on this SID. So what we'll do, we'll set 4,100. Runway heading, I think it's quite close to 357 actually here. Runway 36. 358. There we are. Cool, I think we're all pretty much set there. Elevation in Frankfurt. What is the elevation in Frankfurt today? 350 feet. There we are. Let's set that to 300. That's fine. Cool. So I think the only thing I've got left to do is a fire test. 2 squid bottles. Lupe. Lupe. Fire warning light. And the fire warning bell and master. Is it, what's they call that one? It's a master warning light. Let's do engine number 2. Excellent. There's the ECAM message as well. Excellent. There you go. I just pushed it down. It's working. Preset. I don't know. Maybe you have to do the fire test first. Maybe there's a time delay or something. It seems to be working now. Cool. I think we're good. I'm sort of doing my own flow here. Sort of following the checklist only after engines start, really, just to make sure it's mostly configured here. We'll get the APU started, and then we'll get our departure clearance. The detail on this aircraft is phenomenal. I love it so much. Oh yeah, there's the APU starting. Okay, aircraft taking off there as well. Really nice day to go flying as well, during sunset. FS5 productions, you have to set your FC altitude over 0 feet, that's what makes it work. Interesting. There we are, APU's up and running. So not providing any power here, there you go, you see it coming online now. There's the APU generator picking up there. It's available, 110 volts, 400 hertz. Love how it's green. Damn you, Airbus. when it's good. We can disconnect the external power. We'll get some APU bleed air in here, and now they request our clearance.
And Alpha, and follow general aviation aircraft. Taxi to holding point runway 36
that's young AV.
And Alpha, and follow the general aviation aircraft. Alpaca 1 Alpha 6. Baltic 851.
Charles Darwin, nice APU sound. My partner thinks it sounds like a hairdryer though.
Baltic 851 Whiskey. Stand by for pushback. We already have aircraft behind us. Alpaca 105 to the ground.
Yeah, Alpaca 105, I'm ready for taxi now.
Alpaca 105 taxi to holding point runway 36 via Foxtrot and Alpha.
So we don't have a checklist today. Yes, not reassuring words from your skipper.
Fire Foxtrot and Alpha, Alpaca 105.
Busy, so let's check in there.
Stanza 893, stand by for present. Flight break Alpaca 1 to aircraft, please set squawk 4165.
So once we've got the clearance, a
4165,
little brief of the SID.
Sorry about that, Alpaca 165.
So 1205, I think it tunes all the most important
Alpaca
VORs automatically, which is really cool.
Thanks, pushback and startup approved, straight pushback. Push start approved, straight pushback up to the one.
There's now Alpaca Shark. Oh, he's in the A300 as well. Riga ground, hello, it's Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha on remote stand 109, information echo QNH 1004, departure clearance to Frankfurt, please.
Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha, Riga ground, hello, your third destination via Ascor Fogo, departure runway 36, squawk 4145.
Cleared to Frankfurt, Ascor 4 Golf departure runway 36, squawk 4145, Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha.
Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha, reflect is correct.
Excellent. So, 4,000 feet is now set. Squawk is 4145. And we've been cleared on the Ascor 4 Golf. So all we've got left to do is brief the taxi, departure, and we can get out of here. So, we are on stand 109. So as I mentioned here, it's not very clear on the chart, but it's a... What's out here? it's a self-positioning stand, so just make a direct left turn onto the taxiway here. And then it's going to be onto the parallel taxiway all the way to hold point runway 36. On the test sector, I was actually able to depart from Bravo, so that is an option, even with this reduced thrust setting. Here's our SID then, it's an ASCOR 4 Golf. Contact Riga approach at 129.925, that's an automatic handover, so I think they're modelling that here today. So that means before 1500 feet we have to contact this frequency automatically there. Thank you very much, or welcome back, sorry, to Ollie Blocks Gamer as a member. Glad you still enjoy the content, members on your Discord. Back your way, unless you're still already a member, it's not come up as a renewal fee, but thanks for the support again. Cheers. 1500 feet, contact departures, report SID, radar heading if assigned, they're all radars provided here, noise about routing, so basically fly the SID. Very simple then. For us from Riga, it's going to be the ASCOR 4 Golf, initial climb 4000, which is set. Climb on runway track, at about 3,500 feet, but not before 5 DME from Riga. Make a left turn, 221, track to ASCOR. So we're looking at the flight plan.
Alpaca 1 Alpha Victor, can we please hold at Delta?
Oh, AV, to turn your microphone down. Let's just quickly check out routing here. There you go, direct to ASCOR 221, and what was that course? It said 221, so I'm happy, that's all set there. We don't have the 4000, but I'm happy, and we have it set on the MCP. So very simple departure, basically 3,500 feet, but not before 5, left turn direct to ASCOR, and then carry on route. That's my sort of SID. Superb. I think, guys, we're all ready to go. All we need to do is request engine start there. Transporter for Life is Outback Airways, a low-cost or full-service carrier. We're in everything. We're low-cost, high-cost, full-service, charter, high-speed, low-speed. You name it, we do it. Right, let's now request engine start. Riga ground, Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha, stand 109, request engine start.
Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha, start up and approved.
Start approved, Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha. So, start approved.
And your Ring 585, request taxi.
Ring 585, taxi to Booking
Just
Point.
turn the volume down again here. There we are. So, make sure everything's disconnected. So, ground ops, ground services. Loader, remove, chocks, external power, and page 2. Fuel truck, passenger bus, catering, it's all gone. Exits, close all. Just wait for all the doors to be shown as closed. Also smoking allowed on board, absolutely branded. Yes, but not at the moment though, because we are about to push back. There we are, all doors are green, so we've been cleared, engine start, so beacon on, parking brake sets, and we can start the flow. So engine starts, we have the General Electrics here, because we've got lovely N1 gauges there, so ignition selector, we'll select to crank A, nice and quiet as the air conditioning goes down, and we'll start engine number 2.
Let us know. If you are seated at a bulkhead seat, that is a seat with a wall directly in front of you. All carry-on items must be stowed in your overhead compartments for taxi, takeoff, and landing. Nothing can be stowed on the floor.
When beverages smoking is only approved during refueling. Wait for N2, 20%, there it is. What? Still seem to have some stairs attached, that's alarming. We'll look at that in a second. Looks like a good start on engine number 2. Let's just make sure we've definitely got everything removed. Nothing to see here. Good start on engine number 2, starting engine number 1. Did you forget the air stairs? Yeah,
50, 40, 30, 20, A310.
Thank you, Ethan Bleeker, for the $5. Very kind of you, sir. Oh, congratulations.
Hello, Captain. Celebrating a successful first solo last week. Thanks for the entertaining and inspiring stream.
Oh, Ethan Bleeker, well, that's very kind. Thank you very much for the $5. Glad you've enjoyed the videos and have had the entertainment, but most of all, congratulations for flying solo. We've had loads of people on the channel fly solo. It's amazing when they all come in here and say, oh, your videos were inspirational towards that. So well done, Ethan. I'm sure everyone here will share me in congratulating you. I remember, well, I say both my solos. I did my first solo gliding. That's what I always remember. Then my first solo on the PPL. And yeah, memorable days for sure. That's it. So congratulations and welcome to the club. Amazing. There we are. Looks like anyway we've got 2 good engine starts. Everything looks stable. Lovely, jubbly. Right, let's do the after start flow then. So ignition switch off. APU master switch to off. APU bleed off. Anti-ice not required. Speed brake arm. Rudder trim. Make sure it's set to 0. It is running air trim set to 0. Flaps for departure. So we want flaps and slaps to 15. Trim is set for departure. Just watch the leading edge and trailing edge flaps extend, and then we'll request taxi. So you see the flapper on extends. I think that extends even with flap 1. There's the flaps going now, so the leading edge devices extend first. And that's the first configuration, is to have the flaps at 0 and leading edge flaps at 15, and then this configuration is 15, 15. But you can hear the flaps extending. There we are. And yeah, what we've got left to do now is request taxi. The before taxi flow is a lot more simpler than in the NG, because pretty much a lot of it's automatically configured. The Alpaca 31 X-Ray Alpha request taxi.
Alpaca 31 X-Ray Alpha, standby for please.
Cool, so we're told standby.
Baltic 851 Whiskey, request taxi.
We've got, who's that airline?
Baltic 851 Whiskey, taxi.
Some Russian airline then. What's the situation out here then?
Taxi holding point.
Ooh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Probably going to be number 7 for departure. Busy, busy. Should have perhaps put a little bit of extra fuel on board for taxiing. Remember, no cheating. We take what we had, which is 14 tons. I think on the flight plan we expected to use, I think it was 200. That was just based off 10 minutes. I should have increased that. Look, yeah, 200 kilos of fuel, 10 minutes of taxi. We've already burned 70, so we're well on the way. Burning all our taxi fuel here. Danny Crumpet, thank you for your 12 months.
Alpaca 31 X-Ray Alpha, you ready for taxi?
Fully ready.
Alpaca 31 X-Ray Alpha, taxi to holding point runway 36 via Foxtrot and Alpha.
That's 0.36 via Foxtrot and Alpha, Alpaca 31 X-Ray Alpha. So do a quick config check. There we are, no config warning.
Holding position.
And here, when vacating off a remote stand like this, you'd have someone there, a ground marshal, making sure your wingtip's well clear of any obstacles. And we could join the queue. Beautiful. So I'm going to turn the dome light off, but before I do that, I just want to turn up the lighting on the instrumentation here. So that's the MCP, that's the captains. If I remember rightly, the overhead panel lighting and everything is here. Where is it? Ah, yeah, there it is. We should be able to turn the dome light off now.
Airboat Gate 51 Whiskey, continue taxi.
Ah, that's better. Do you prefer that, guys? Obviously, for the sakes of realism, this will be off, but, I mean, from watching the stream, that, or do you like it with the dome light on, so it sort of illuminates? I think I prefer that more. just because you can see things a little bit clearer. I mean, you wouldn't have it as bright as that at the flight deck at night. But from a guy's view, watching the stream, it probably is a little bit better.
Lufthansa 122 Riga ground. Hello, you are clear to destination. What is focal departure runway 36 for 176.
Get to Frankfurt via the Belly Smoke. First departure on runway 36, smoke 4176.
You all like it to do lights off, dome lights off, very good. Look at the water effects on the taxiway, it's a little puddle or something.
Thanks for flight.
Beautiful. Not a single person liked the dome light on. You guys are in charge. Was that for me?
Alpaca 31, X-ray, big ground.
Go ahead, Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha is coming in a bit broken.
Alpaca 1 X-ray Alpha, no problem. Contact Riga Southern, frequency 11, it is 1 passenger flight.
Can't hear it all. Tower 118.1 Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha, thank you so much for the ATC and have a lovely evening, sir. Bye. What do you want, Jack? Jack's giving me little nudges.
Lufthansa 890, you ready for taxi?
What are you doing? Get down. Actually, don't get me. She's trying to sleep. On your bed. Boy.
Airbus A310.
Skyline 49% brightness fix. John Padfield, I want to know how these members are doing these highlighted messages. It's a pretty cool feature. John Padfield, member for 6 months. Has it been 6 months already? It has been. Amazing. I think it's like if you're on the day of your membership, it lets you highlight comments, which is pretty cool. Jack, will you quit it? Lay down. Sorry, guys. He's literally... He's here.
039, contact Riga
I need to contact Tower.
118.105, proceed to полет. 118.0. Sorry.
Oh yeah, we're over. Unbelievable. The great Hannigan, the dog. You might want to turn TCAS on VSI. Yeah, my operator, we only turn on TCAS when we've lined up on the runway, so I'm sort of following my own operator's SOPs with regards to that one. Ah, Joe, you get free membership milestone message. That's really cool. That's really cool. Well, John Padfield, thank you for the 6 months member. I can't believe, yeah, you said those 6 months have gone very quick. Very active as a member as well, which we love over at Flight Deck Sim. Cool. Now we are, parking brake is set. And we best put on standby. Automatic changeover frequency 129er. 925. And the recall box, there we are, so we can bring that up later. Right, best do the before takeoff checklist. Thank you, Dave Hagen, who's been a member for 14 months. Just recognised a member for 14 months. It's an amazing channel, amazing community. Never thought I would be accepted just the way I have. You're most welcome, Dave. So thank you very much for your continued support as a member as well. Very kind of you.
Hello, Thomas Cook 039er with you.
Ollie Blocksgamer, how are you doing that? So I think if you've been a member for X amount of months on the day of the stream, you can highlight a comment, which is that's a cool perk to have.
Traffic information for my friend.
Clear for immediate takeoff, rolling down fine at 24 Tango X-ray.
Right, I go for an immediate takeoff because you can see, look, although there we are, aircraft on short final. We best start actually doing our before takeoff checklist here. So config we checked, flaps we have 15 and 15, stab trim set for departure 1.6 units down. How do I illuminate that a little bit brighter? I'm not so sure. Takeoff briefing, the packs are on, the bleeds are on, the V speeds are set for departure. We go here to take off the approach. We have 155, 157, 162, which is preset on the FCU. And I forgot to put our initial bug up speed of 210 knots. Departure then is going to be the Ascor 4 Golf. The Ascor 4 Golf has us doing is climbing on runway heading until we get to 3,500 feet, but not before 5 GME. We're then going to make a left turn direct to Ascor. Stop altitude is 4,000 feet, which is set on the MCP. NADP2, the aircraft in profile mode, I've set to accelerate at 1,000 feet AGL. So we'll bug up from there. And we are. Checks complete. I'll imagine the cabin is secure as well. So I burnt my 200 kilos of taxi fuel already. We burnt 250. Probably going to be about 400 by the time we get airborne. That's cool, Lauren. I had no idea. So yeah, to all the members, this is a YouTube often don't communicate these sort of updates. But yeah, I noticed I think a couple of streams ago that there were these highlighted comments coming in. I think if you've been a member around that period of time, you get a highlighted comment. Mind those virtual runway birds on the runway boss. I'm looking out at Waypoint Richie. Very cool. And I quite like this event. It seems to be just the right amount of traffic, not absolutely absurdly busy. But Frankfurt, it'd be interesting to see how that is, because Frankfurt, I think they do this event every Friday night. It's always busy there. Hello, Rory Heap. I hope you're doing very well. Rory, ladies and gentlemen, is a member who's blind, and he always listens into the streams, and we try to provide as much feedback as possible. So Rory, TARA is a function of TCAS, which allows us, it's an automated system which communicates with other aircraft which have TCAS, and it can provide information about how to avoid that traffic if there's a conflict. There's two systems, or two warnings, there's something called a TA and an RA, which are those two, the two kind of acronyms within TARA. I'm going too close to this aircraft here. The TA is what we call a traffic advisory, so that is where there's a conflict with traffic, but the time of collision is not a factor at the moment, probably around 45 seconds, and it comes up in the 737 as traffic. As a display, we have a little yellow square on the ND, which locates us and shows us the position of the aircraft relative to its height, general position as well. Now, if it's still a conflict, if it's a conflict, the TA can become an RA, where the collision is around 25 seconds, and an RA is what is known as a resolution advisory.
Thank you very much, and goodbye.
And a resolution advisory requires immediate correcting action, and we're advised to either climb or descend from...
Good evening, Papa Hotel Zurich. Delta, 5 miles out on final...
Everyone got their microphone in their mouth. I swear I don't talk that loud. Yeah, so the RA, you have to manoeuvre a resolution advisory, climb or descend based off the instruction. And the other aircraft, if you're told to climb, the other aircraft will be told to descend.
You approach and copy the winds, Papa Hotel Zurich, Delta.
Jeez. So yeah, that's what the TARA means there. Anyway, Rory, we are number 2 for departure. There's an aircraft that's just checked in. Well, you definitely heard him. He was shouting at the microphone. I am far too close to this aircraft as well, and you wouldn't want to be this close behind, but there you go. You'd be sniffing all that burnt Jet A1. Rezex, my dog's called Jack, and he's a Labrador too. Amazing. So cool. Welcome to the Labrador Twin Club, I guess. Super cool. The Great Hackerton are real life birds as 100% deadly as they are in X-Plane 11. Tower, sorry, we haven't checked in yet. Alpaca 31 X-Ray Alpha 1.36. We're ready for departure in sequence. Hold short 36, Alpaca 31 X-Ray Alpha. Gaming Moose got a new sub from me. Welcome aboard. Not sure why it picked up. Sometimes it does. Hey Lee Russell, hope you're doing well.
Hit the land to runway 36. Thank you very much, Papa Hotel Zurich.
Danny Rubel, the autopilot and autothrottle for the 310 difficult to get used to and learn? No, well, for me anyway, the autopilot and autothrottle system is a lot more similar to that of the Boeing 7375. So compared to the modern Airbus A320, which has a very different sort of automation system where it does everything for you, I find that far more complex. Like when I started learning how to fly the iniBuilds A310, it did not take me anywhere near as long to learn how to use the automation as it did with the A320. And when I say did with the A320, I still don't know anything about that system. Manuel, great question. Can you smell it in the cabin when that close to following traffic? Absolutely. Yeah, that'll be ingested by the engines, which will be collected by the bleed air system, and then you can smell jet fuel. Yeah, so you don't want to be too close behind it there. We were discussing it, I think, a couple of streams ago as well. Bird strikes. If a bird gets ingested through the core of the engine, you can smell it in the air conditioning system, and it smells very nice. It smells like chicken. It doesn't smell that bad. It sort of smells like bird chicken. I've had it before, and it's like, oh yes, that's the bird we saw.
Scandinavian 1296, Riga good evening. Wind checks and flight 37 continue approach and expect 1 departure.
Yeah, it's very busy here.
Continue approach 36, Scandinavian 1296.
The great hacker, I used to be a Boeing guy, but after a year of Microsoft Flight Simulator, I think I can fly an Airbus without killing everyone now. Hey, there's too much love for Airbus in the new Microsoft Flight Simulator. Everyone's making Airbuses. We only have PMDG making a NG, which obviously everyone's looking forward to. And I think there's another developer maybe making a 400, which I don't know much about. But yes, more love for Boeing, please. Robin Klein, just a short question. Do you get any brake pressure indication on 737NG? Only brake accumulator pressure, stored pressure in the event of loss of system A and B pressure. You can still use that to apply brakes, but no, we don't have this indication of actual PSI pressure to the brakes. Boris, who's almost been a member for 12 months, because you haven't got your 4 stripes there. He says, thanks for the last 12 months, Captain. Love to watch the evening streams. Please give a chance to other stouts, though. Oh, okay. Yeah, I've just never been a big fan.
Level take 851 whiskey, are you on frequency?
Baltic 851 whiskey.
I'm a big fan of Guinness. My old man, he passed away a few years ago now, my dad. He was a big stout lover. He loved Guinness, but he loved John Smith. He used to drink a lot of John Smith. I always remember as a kid, he used to have a can of that. Manuel, when will we see a private jet live stream? Yes, the CJ4 of Microsoft Flight Simulator. I haven't flown that for months, and I've no doubt they've done several updates on that, I should think. Yeah, I have had a little play with Microsoft Flight Simulator with the Sim 5 update, just a little play with some GA aircraft.
Behind the arriving Scandinavian Airbus inside line up and wait, or with 36 behind, Alpaca 128.
I did get some good FPS improvements as well, but yeah, I've heard a number of aircraft have been affected by it, and apparently the texture distance, draw distance isn't quite as good. But we'll try it again soon, Microsoft Flight Simulator for sure. I like to take the DC6 out again, and I think PMDG have updated the DC6 to accommodate that Simplate 5. Ollie Blocks Gamer, how long did it take to get your pilot's license for my PPL? I did over a period of 2 years because I was still at school. I sort of gave up. I halfway through it became a bit too much work trying to do that, plus A-levels, plus part-time job. So I waited until finished school. But for my commercial license, which I think is what you're probably wondering, I started my integrated flight training in January, I always forget now, 2010, and I finished in May 2011, and then I got my first job right-hand seat on the NG November 2011, nearly 10 years ago. Charles, is there a procedure to do a fuel check just before takeoff if there is a long expected delay like this? Now, it's an excellent question, Charles. There's no set procedure to check, but however, as you mentioned here, you've got to be aware of your fuel burn here, because your block fuel consists of, the last stage here, takeoff fuel and taxi, and we've got to ensure that we take off with at least more than this. So if you burn more than taxi and you've taken, block fuel is dispatch, you can't go less than that whilst on stand, but you can't get airborne with less than this. So yeah, I've had it before where I've been very close having to return to stand because we didn't take extra fuel. Now usually on the 737, my operator, if the weather's fine, we take standard fuel, we take plus 100, so 11.8 plus another 100, 11.9 is what we'd ask for. So you've already usually got on there around 150 extra kilos without taking any additional extra fuel, and that for taxiing is around, it's on top of your normal taxi fuel, 10 minutes, it's another additional 15 minutes. So you'd have to have a significant delay at the whole point that you weren't expecting to have to return to stand. But yeah, if you see that your takeoff fuel is going to be less than this, you have to return to stand and get more fuel. But, Lido is very clever, so if you're at an airport like Barcelona, the taxi fuel's just not fixed at 10 minutes, it's based off historic data. So for example in Barcelona, I think it's 30 minutes of taxi fuel standard, not even taking into account the amount of fuel. If you took minimum fuel, you have another 15 minutes there.
Alpha 31 X-ray Alpha, behind the next departing company, Airbus A310, line up runway 36 and wait behind.
Behind it departing Airbus A310 line up and waits behind Alpha 31 X-ray Alpha. So being cleared to line up and wait.
Information Golf is now current QNH1003.
QNH1003 Alpha 31 X-ray Alpha. So QNH1003 is set. Oh my goodness me, there's so many checks I've not done. Water brake to max, we've armed the speed brake, flight controls have not checked, transponder to TARA. We can do that now whilst we're lining up. These lights on, strobes on, take off. Just do a little wiggle of the flight controls. A little bit left to centre line, but that's okay. Parking brake is set, so flight controls. Too busy talking, having fun with you guys. There we are, so elevator, fall back, fall down, left, right.
Alpha 31 X-ray Alpha,
just by the radar.
runway 36, you're clear for takeoff. Have a good flight, bye-bye.
Runway 36, clear for takeoff, Alpha 31 X-ray Alpha, thanks to ATC, bye. Got an automatic changeover frequency, just get the weather radar on. And good, so system 1, plus 5. Well, Toga's in chat. We're on our way, there we are. So 40%. There we are, that's all looking stabilised. Push Toga. Set takeoff first. Timing. There we are, I didn't forget. It takes such a long time for these edges to spool up. There they go. There we are. Takeoff thrust sets, indications all. Let's get back on the centre line. 80 knots checked, just going to release that forward pressure. E1 is 155 knots. As V1 rotates. And we're airborne. Pause rate climb, gears up. And trim. So there we are, the aircraft's already accelerating, so bugging up. I'm going to put the autopilot in here just because we've got an automatic changeover frequency. So flaps to 015, contact departures 129925. Flaps up. Should have already contacted them. Riga departure, hello Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha. We're on the Ascor 4 Golf passing 2,500 for altitude 4,000 feet.
Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha, Riga approach, good evening, radar contact, thanks for flying out of Riga, continue climb to level 280, direct Ascor.
Flight flight level 280, direct to Ascor, Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha, thanks for having me.
Shuttle 4547 established on the localizer runway 36.
I think he said 240, but we'll confirm the cleared level, so 240 checked, profile.
Riga Tower, 118.105.
Direct to Ascor, which we're pretty much already doing now. I will just tidy that up by going direct, Ascor, insert, there we are, and set standard, passing 53 for flight level 240, Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha, sorry, just confirm cleared flight level.
Alpaca 2, correction, Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha, it's flight level 280.
Flight level 280, Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha. There you are. Any doubts? Confirm ATC. 280 set. Look at this climb, 4,000 feet per minute. We can now do the after takeoff checklist. Where's the tap? 14 degrees, and we're on climb, so that's fine. Don't need the engine MTI. So, after takeoff checklist. So, spoilers we can disarm.
Riga approach, hello, Thomas Cook 039er airborne.
No, that's fully extended.
Thomas Cook 039er, Riga approach, good evening. Report your passing altitude.
Why is that? That's strange. I was pressing my disarm button. It was putting it in full. Anyway, the spoilers disarmed.
Thomas Cook 039er, report your passing
Landing
altitude.
gears off. Packs on. Nose and runway turn off. Lights can turn off.
Altitude 2,000 feet, Thomas Cook 039er. Thomas Cook 039er, radar contact, thank you. Continue climb to level 270, direct to EVRA.
Ignition's off, APU's already off, not required for departure. There we are, after takeoff checklist is complete. Look at that, we're already at flight level 100. My goodness. 105 for flight level 280, pre-cruise check. So standard sets, lights we can retract. It's like it's stabbed red. So fast.
Direct to EVRA, flight level 270.
So fuel we have on board. Just a fuel checks along this route as well. 12.6. Lights off. APU, again we verify, is off. Pressurization, diff pressure is 4 psi, climbing, cabin altitude slowly climbing set. There we are, seatbelts off, no smoking sign off. There we are, checks complete. And we'll try and log into CPDLC if there's any. No, unfortunately Riga has no CPDLC, but Euro Control maybe later on does. Can't believe how fast we're climbing. Manuel, why are we climbing 100% N1? 101%, I don't know. Very high, isn't it? But in the NG, we often climb at a rated, that's actually around the highest rating we have, 101.4. Usually at much higher flight levels, not as low as we are now. But yeah, N1s in excess of 100% are not uncommon. But yeah, usually at a higher stage, or higher altitude, we'd see that. Now, before I forget, I'm going to close the control column off because I don't know if you guys remember, there might have been a stream once where I accidentally knocked down my mouse and the aircraft went haywire. Charles, now we've got to go. Have a lovely flight, everyone. Take care, Charles. Thanks for tuning in. Why'd he turn off the no smoking sign? Michael, Alpaca Airways, you could smoke. You know, we're back in the 1980s in the A310 again. No problem whatsoever, sir.
Position 4 station 3 approaches back.
Welcome back, Riga. Does it have weather radar? It does. I should be pointing that tilt a little bit further down now. I should have a much more sensible scale as well. I don't know how accurate it is or if it's working. Usually a good way of doing it is to stick the tilt all the way down, see if you're getting any ground return. So 10 degrees, we should have some ground return within 40 miles. It's not like getting anything. Wow, yes we are. Oh no. Look at this climb rate. It's like an empty 737. Might best go check the no smoking sign in the cabin. Yes, they are bottled, isn't it? Yeah. Now all the no smoking signs are off. You'll like this touch, guys, so you can see at the moment, look, cabin lighting's off as we climb, but if I go back here, put the no smoking sign on.
Contact Eurocontrol North 133.45.
There we are, look, you can see, look, the no smoking sign. Moen. It's an alpaca with a cigarette in its mouth. No comment. Well done. 11 out of 10 and Moen, amazing. Oh god, no words. Oh, that's brilliant. There you go. So on this particular variant of the Alpaca Airbus A310, you have alpacas with no smoking signs on. Pure class. That's amazing. Well done, well done. And yes, someone is sleeping. Yeah, I know. God, Barry, it's going to be cross. Moen, it's Moen's fault. Oh dear. Right, should have runway heading matched up here. Oh, not runway heading, current heading, there we are. Oh, it's an Airbus, all we have to do is push that button. Love it. We should be able to go at 380 now as well. Where is it you can find your optimal flight level and flights? Which is on in it page 2, isn't it, usually? Very sure we can do 360.
Big approach, or Baltic 85 whiskey.
380 now. We'll do it.
Now, level 090.
There we are, 380 updated.
Baltic 851 whiskey, Riga approach, the evening for information, the initial...
Production SAR, what are you using for weather engine? I'm using Active Sky. Active Sky, absolute must. It's a bit slow there, producing our rate of climb. Look, so it's just gone to out hold to maintain 280, clear level.
50, 40,
Look at that, 8 minutes at 28,000 feet. That is outrageous. Thank you, Michael Rudolph, for your donation, sir.
I remember my only flight on a Swiss Air A310 from ZRH to EWR smoking was still allowed back then. I am officially old.
Thank you very much, Michael, for your donation. There you go. So from an era where you could still smoke that aircraft, amazing. And it was on an A310 to Newark from Zurich on Swiss Air. Very cool, Michael. Thank you very much for your donation, that's very kind. I can say I've never smoked on an aircraft. Well, hello, did we just have a little balloon above 280 here? Of course, let's stand on the standby as well. Am I capped at the 280 for a short while? Riga Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha standing by for hire if available.
Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha, contact your control north 133.45.
133.45 Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha, bye. Now hopefully we'll get some CPDLC, we'll try, but Euro North 133.450.
AFM, Golf Uniform November Tango Alpha.
Euro Control, hello, Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha, maintaining flight level 280, approaching Ascot, request flight level 380, we have CPDLC.
And Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha, welcome to the Madhouse. I don't have CPDLC because I'm boring, but you can climb flight level 380.
380, Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha, no problem. There we are. So 380, oh yeah, press profile again, there we are, set, that's a shame. And that's our final cruise level. Up we go.
And Alpaca 21X, sorry, 12 Echo, my apologies, climb now, flight level 360.
Climb now, flight level 360, thank you.
There we are.
Alpaca 1 Alpha Victor, partial weather radar offline, 1 122.8, ciao.
That's a shame, we don't have any CPDLC, but we'll have a look later.
Thanks for supplying the Alpaca then.
Gaming Moose, what airline do you fly for in real life? It's an often answered question, but there you go. Everyone's answered for me on my behalf. Thanks, guys. Boring controller.
Are you able at odd flight level? Can you descend flight level 23?
Rez, where can I download Alpaca Airways? So if you'd like to use any of the liveries, if you just play back any of my previous streams, if you look in the chat, you'll often see right at the start of the stream, most commonly, people are requesting that livery, and then chat for it, have it linked there. But to use it on VATSIM, just feel free to use the VCP code, which is pretty well recognised these days on VATSIM, and call yourself Alpaca.
Thomas Cook 0390, Euro Control, hello,
lovely sunset flight. So when we get to top of climb, we'll do a fuel check and also at Opvov. Routing today, actually, I think it takes us over Kaliningrad.
Juliet, as I said, it's the Gunter 8 Charlie, landing runway 36, descend when ready, flight level 19.
Yeah, Opvov is the boundary with Kaliningrad and Riga control. So technically going over a little bit of Russia here.
Alpaca 105, no further, ATC fee,
Joseph Verity, what flight sim is this? It's X-Plane 11, sir.
Please don't crash.
Oh dear. Look at this climb, insane. That Costa Next worked out quite nicely though. It looks like it's maintaining around decimal 78, but I think we said 80 on the flight.
Mazel tov, welcome back.
Better close that in case I inadvertently try and open any doors. There we are. What a lovely sunset flight. Lauren, 2 tons and I got sassed at Denver last weekend. VCP, what's that supposed to be? Resex, is there an Alpaca Airways delivery for the Zebo mod? Yeah, as I mentioned, go back to any of my streams where
Alpaca 921.
basically Nightbot links the very livery I'm using in the stream. And if you look back at any of my streams, just keep a close eye on chat and you'll see someone using that command. It's usually right at the start, usually at, around 20-30 times a stream. So it's the best way to get it there. Ollie Crocky, can we have a wing for you? Yes. Au nom de deux, le trait Maison 2 is an X-Plane aircraft or an add-on packed with FMC. This is the iniBuilds Airbus A310 add-on payware aircraft, which has all the FMC everything you see here included. It's one of the most in-depth simulated aircraft or representation of a real aircraft available in a desktop sim.
Alpaca 921, contact Bremen radar, frequency 123.
There we are, just levelling off at 38,000 feet. There we go. Sorry for the default scenery down below, but it is night. Could be worthwhile downloading Ortho for the night sector.
F213, your control, hello, squawk 2.
Joseph Verity, where are you flying to, Captain? We're flying into Frankfurt, Maine, the largest international airport in Europe. If you ever want to know where I'm going, if you look here at the top, you'll always see the ICAO code EVRA, which is Riga, Echo Delta Delta Foxtrot, which is Frankfurt. And most of the time I'll put it in the video title as well, our routing.
November 185 whiskey, climb now.
Those lights appear to have their own light source. Yes, they are very bright. I did see that the guy from X-Plane 11, I can't remember his name, he recently did an interview with a flight sim website or something, and he said that X-Plane, the next rendition of X-Plane will have a whole new, different lighting system, much more realistic as well, so that'd be cool. But yes, the clients are a little bit brighter than they should be. There are 2 Frankfurts. Frankfurt, Maine we're going to. Frankfurt Hahn, the smaller airport, we're not going to. Frankfurt, Maine. As I mentioned, always here if you want to have the code EDDF, all you have to do is stick that in Google. That should show you what it is. Yes, Austin Meyer, that's it. Oh, yes, sorry, Lauren, Maine is the river here. It's pronounced like mine. I knew that as well. Frankfurt, Maine. Just testing it.
Airflight 213, spasibo.
There we are. So let's have a look at our ETA. 646 miles to go. Oh, there's the progress page. There we are. So yeah, we're fine. Max 383, so a little bit above optimum. Fuel prediction. This is still, look at that, fuel burn is bang on what we're expecting. So we've still got that extra 29 minutes of fuel. Estimated fuel on board when we get to Frankfurt is 6.6. And our alternates, it was 3.1, so that gives us 3.4 tonnes or so, and it's burning, what's that, 4.2 an hour. But yeah, just over 35-40 minutes extra fuel, which is exactly what we checked here. Yeah, we'll do that fuel check and off, make sure we're close to what we're expecting to burn. We've already burned 2.6 tonnes at this stage.
Get it, 502, Eurocontrol North, hello, Squawk 04.
Yeah, I think for the next cross the pond, across the ditch or transatlantic, I'll take the A310 because of CPDLC. So yeah, I'm going back to work in a couple of days. So I've got a full week of flying coming up. I mean, I've got one day where I finish quite early, so I might do another stream. And I will probably fly Zebo again. Then I'd like to get the Felis 747 out again, because I really enjoyed that. Try and take on VATSIM. Stefan Turley, or Stephen Turley, sorry, I should say, not Stefan. Evening. How often do you do circle to lands? You seem fairly rare. How do people remain current on them unless you do the sectors all the time, or is that the answer? Great question. They are incredibly rare, becoming rarer. Thanks to the ability for people that build approaches to utilise RNAV now, so where there was a circling procedure before, they can actually build an RNAV approach. One of the places I have done a circle is Pisa, years ago. There's now actually an RNAV approach available onto the runway 22 there. I've also done a circle to land in a few undisclosed French destinations. Again, I'll give away my operator, so I won't discuss that, even though it's partly obvious. So yeah, I haven't done one on the line in at least 2 or 3 years. How do we keep current? Well, every 6 months we have to do a circle to land approach during the check ride. So we have to do a circle to land in circling minima conditions, or the cloud-based circling minima, and sometimes you'll have to do a go-around off that as well. So that's how we sort of keep up with it. So obviously in preparation for that check you prepare by reading the manuals. So yeah, it's one of the most demanding approaches you fly. There's a few in Europe, but not many.
24 Tango X-ray, I'm letting you go now, our kids. Montana come 122 decimal 8, see ya. Montana come 122 decimal 8, see ya.
Vanguard, you're looking forward to the Felis 74, yeah, it's a wonderful add-on, that is.
Roger, you can continue descent.
Gabriel Girardi, aviation here in Brazil is very difficult after COVID-19. How are the flights from your base? So yeah, Europe is, it's still far behind the United States, but it is picking up. So the number of flights compared to say 2019 at around 70ish% of what it was. The problem is the load factor is far lower. Well, certainly from the flights I've been operating. So usually at my operator, our flight's load factor is over 90% full. In the winter a little bit less, but I should think the average load factor I've had since going back on the line 8 weeks ago, about 60 to 80%, no, not even that, I'd say 40 to 60%, sometimes more, sometimes a lot less. Really varies on where you're going, because in Europe different countries have different restrictions, so certain countries there's more flights, more demand. For example, flights to France at the moment there isn't so much demand, although I think from Monday the restrictions are ending now regarding having to self-isolate. But yeah, I'm happy just to be flying, if I'm honest. Andy, love watching the 310. Would have got it if the Felis 747 wasn't just around the corner. Cannot wait for that. 747 back, very good.
You're identified, just stand by for a climb.
There's so many great aircraft coming out. I genuinely, when it comes to streaming now, I'm like, what aircraft should I take? There's so many great choices. Luca, might be a stupid question. Why did planes take so much to start up? Why isn't it made simpler? Well, Luca, there's some sort of limitations and things. It isn't as simple as just pressing a start button.
Ah yes, Lufthansa 67 Echo Lima descent flight level.
And like I say, a car or something like that. So there's a little bit independent systems which have to all be configured and started at a particular time. So you've got fuel, you have hydraulics, you have air conditioning, you have bleed, electrics, and then we have to make sure that's all set up. We then have to make sure that's not just the aircraft, that we know that we're flying the correct routing and we're flying it all correctly. We also communicate with ATC, so there's a lot has to be done for an aircraft to be configured correctly and safely prior to departure. Isn't that amazing sunset? It's beautiful. Those colours here are spot on. They're spot on after the sun's been setting. These sort of dark blues, dark purples you get after the sun's dipped below the horizon.
Right, Lufthansa 893. Climb now, flight level 300.
Thank God, I can remember the start of your streaming career. There was only Zebo. I was seeing you first ever live stream and was hooked to sing. It's amazing, thank God, yeah. I remember my first ever live stream, Manchester to Parma. It cracked the streaming software crashed about 3 times. I was really nervous as well. And now we jump into all sorts of different aircraft. Goat friend. It's a great time to fly in Europe. I had 3 seats for myself. Yes, true. Airlines won't survive forever though, like that. Hayden, elevator music, nice and relaxing though. Yes, floor 64 coming up.
Baltic 4, Uniform Juliet, descend.
Oh yeah, the Tonus A340, yeah, that's an excellent aircraft. Sorry, it was obviously not out yet, but yeah, looking forward to trying that out. There we are, so overhead Kaliningrad at the moment.
Climb now, flight level 380.
Yes, Kaliningrad airspace, rest of the routing is going to be just basically a straight line. Going to go enter Polish airspace very shortly. Flying overhead Szczecin, and then entering German airspace directly overhead Berlin today. And there is Frankfurt Main. Just here, our destination. I think it's the largest airport in Germany. Well, certainly the busiest.
Lufthansa 2 Foxtrot November, Eurocontrol, hello, identified.
Aaron Hastings, do you think the pandemic made for a big increase in flight simming? Did you notice from your channel views? It certainly brought me back. I think I've had, not really. During the pandemic, I think I started to stream more, so I noticed an increase in the views and subscribers then. Microsoft had a huge growth on the channel as well, but that was more of an implementation of the, more of the sim that caused that sort of rapid growth. But yeah. During the pandemic, I was able to increase the amount of content. But yeah, it's I don't even know where the last year and a half's gone since the pandemic started. Crazy. Look, Frankfurt is the busiest. It was the biggest until Berlin was finished last year or so. Yeah, Frankfurt's always been very busy. Great Hadakan, I hate that. I just feel like controllers and other pilots are quietly judging me. Not at all, Great Hadakan. And you should never.
That wasn't audible. I need your Mac number, please.
Oh dear. Yeah, you shouldn't feel nervous if you ever have any problems with controllers. You know, provide the feedback associated there. But obviously, have a degree of knowledge of the aircraft you're flying as well. But no, it's a learning environment. You know that certain people.
Okay, Alpaca 1-2 Echo. Are you able to climb flight level 380 immediately?
Will be new to the sim, and they should be patient with you.
1-2 Echo, climb now, flight level 380.
Climbing now, flight level 380.
And Thomas Cook 2
Tell you what, I love. One of the things about now having Ortho, the FPS is so much better. Mirchard, what's the conversion altitude normally? Around 24,000, 25,000 feet when you convert from indicated to Mach, and vice versa. But obviously, it depends on what your target cruise or indicated airspeed is in climb or descent, and vice versa. Yeah, Camilo Conte, actually you're judging yourself, he's quite right what he's saying to you, Great Haggadah. Absolutely. Wouldn't worry about what other people think ever. Sky, I'm from Szczecin, I'll be looking out the window, very cool. We love Szczecin here at Flight Data Sim. Andy, thank you. It was only benefit from COVID. So many streams, I learned so much about the hobby than I ever thought possible. The increased content keeps me sane. Thank you. I mean, one of the things as well, pre-COVID, was that I was still, as a captain, I got based away from home. So I was commuting on my days off, which meant times where I could have potentially been streaming. I was either on a Flybe-8 or driving 5 or 6 hours. So I actually, you know, have a lot more time, even though I'm now still back at full-time working to stream. For example, today, no plans. Marianne's going to bed very early because she's got to get up very early for work. So I thought, oh, perfect, let's stream. So yeah, I still intend to stream at least on one of my days off. And if I'm on standby, yeah, still stream when I can.
Alpaca 1-2 Echo, thanks for your help there.
Obviously, if they're phone calls, I'll have to abandon the stream. There you go.
No problem.
Right, anyway, it's best to do a fuel check. Look, we already missed one. We're directly over Abnab.
Approved report back.
So there's Abnab. We should have been airborne for 27 minutes. Oh, look at that. Abnab, 27 minutes, 27 minutes. We should have burned 3.5 tons of fuel, 3,486. We burnt there 3,233, so we saved about 100 kilos on the burn, which is nice. 8.3 on board. We have 10.6. No, that's that extra 2.3 tons we took, so 2.1 plus a bit saved. So yeah, all fuel burns looking good. We do fuel checks every 30 minutes typically, so next fuel check, we try and remember, we'll do it at Luca an hour into the flight.
Lufthansa 6 America Lima Unicom 122 decimal flight.
John Franco, another streamer I know, attempted to land in Chechen, and he had to go around once due to his scenery having a hilly runway. I've never had that, but I do take the time during streams to always check the scenery to make sure it's installed correctly. So that's probably why I don't have any issues. Andy H1302, no comment. Dean Thomas, I'm doing a full motion A320 simulator in Manchester with a friend in just under 2 weeks. I can't wait. Excellent. Any reason why you're taking an A320, not a 737? Lost record, do we ever get a face reveal of you and the boss, aka what, Mariana or Jack? I do have a face, contrary to popular belief, but no, maybe if I get to 100,000 subscribers, I'll post a picture with the YouTube
31 X-ray Alpha, no further ATC for you, Unicom 122 decimal. Thank you very much for visiting Riga this evening.
Unicom 122 decimal 8, Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha, thanks for the very amusing ATC. Bye.
Bye.
It was funny, liked it. Oh well, unfortunately Unicom, it's a great shame, because I was hoping that somewhere would be utilising CPDLC. Let me have a little look on here on the VATSIM map, see if we have any ATC maybe somewhere in Germany, higher levels. Ooh, nice little conga line between Riga and Frankfurt. Thanks for everyone that joined in today, very, very cool. No, there's fortunately no ATC until we get to Magdeburg, and then we should be in descent already into Frankfurt. Always very busy at Frankfurt already, I can see a few aircraft landing. How many arrivals have they got there at the moment? So they have, Frankfurt, 90 arrivals. Whew. That's amazing. That's got to be the busiest on VATSIM right now. Let's have a look here. So VATScope. Most popular airports. Yeah, Frankfurt, whoa, by a significant margin. Frankfurt, 90 arrivals, then Schiphol with 24, and Riga's third, obviously with a huge amount of departures, so there's a slot there. Very cool. Parma, number 10. LA's picking up as well. Dave, planning on buying the A310 over the 742? Are the A310, A300 separate products, or is the A310 expansion of the A300 like the 737 and 800? They're two separate products, but you get a discount if you own one of them or the others. So yeah, as Lauren said, if you own the A300 or Beluga, I think you get 35% off or something. But yeah, it depends what you want to fly. The 310 has the range over the A300. The Beluga, obviously, you can have all sorts of fun flights to do with oversized cargo. So yeah, I've flown all three. Do I have a favourite? Not really. I think I love all three of them. I like the A310 though, just because it's got so much performance. It's a mega aircraft in that respect. There we are. Doesn't make any difference to add ortho now. Look. Will Edwards, yeah, I need to talk to you guys because I do plan to take part in the race tomorrow. I might do a stream, ladies and gentlemen, over at Flight Deck Sim Gaming of our first race in the Alpaca GT series in Assetto Corsa Competizione. But I've had no practice whatsoever. But I am, yeah, tomorrow morning I've got no plans, so I might jump on stream because it's an early start. Miranda should be finishing around midday, so I'll catch up with you guys later in chat after the stream. I'm actually playing Apex Legends Season 10. I'm really addicted to it at the moment. Really enjoying it. Hi Pedro Corti is that rail or real? Not sure. Hi Cap, how do you choose the routes for these streams? Often I have no clue where to fly and explain. So Pedro, I use something called SimBrief, which is owned by Navigraph now, and that generates very realistic flight plans based off, well, I say very realistic, it creates flight plans identical to what real world operators use, using lots of different formats as well. So I choose a start and end point, and it generates a flight plan based off real world airways, and use that. But if you need inspiration of where to go, you fly wherever you want. That's the beauty of desktop simulators. If you ever want to know or fly or practice flying a particular route, we have been to many destinations. I have a command for this. So if you want to practice a particular sector, you can look at any of the routes I've flown on this map, and you can recreate it. And yeah, we've been to some really cool places. I mean, there's something like 25,000 different airports to fly to around the world. So the world is literally in your hands when it comes to desktop simulators, where you want to go. I hope not strong wheel 54. Navigraph have said that it would be the case, so I doubt it would be a subscription-based use of SimBrief. I certainly hope it won't be. Oh, it helps if I spell correctly. Thanks, Anthony. Destinations. There we are. iniBuilds. Check that link out, guys. It's every time I stream, I update that map with the link of the stream in it as well. Tony flies. You mentioned VATSIM First Wings events the other day. I see VATSIM Europe have got one coming up on the 14th. I signed up for it. Excellent. There you go. Do a little fly past. I'm going to crank up the volume though for that. That was loud. Joseph Verity, how left long on the flights? You always get our ETA as the crow flies here, 2004 Zulu, so it's exactly an hour according to that. This is going to be far more realistic. Actually, this won't be that realistic because it has the full RNAV arrival, unless it's really busy. We won't be flying that, but this reckons we're going to be landing at Frankfurt at 2024, so that's 20 minutes later than this. However, that's got the full RNAV arrival on it, so it's going to be a bit confusing when you're doing PA. Sometimes you have to always sort of check that, because obviously when we do our PA in the cruise prior to top of descent, you'd like to know a rough time of what we're landing, and if you have this full RNAV arrival in here, you go, yes, the ETA is going to be at 2024 Zulu, or in this case local time, 25 past 10 German time. You're actually going to be landing 20 minutes sooner if you take out that full arrival, if it's quiet, so it's always a bit of a guesseroo really. Hello Fezzy16V, good evening, it's great to be back. Been a few weeks since I last watched the live stream. Hope you're enjoying the Airbus experience. Absolutely, this is my favourite Airbus of them all. Love it. John, I did find the time recently to watch all your Concord streams from the past. You did a spot-on job from your mental maps. Thank you, John. Thank you. It does work well. For the Concord, I think it was a slightly different calculation. It's been a while since I've flown it now. Ah, that's really nice. Got a nice message from the Riga. I think it's the Riga control area. He just said, seriously, I'd like to thank you so much for flying out of Riga today. It means a lot for a very small VACC like us. We'll make sure to treat you to ATC again. Ah, that's very kind. Thank you, Mr. Well, I won't say your name in case you want to keep it private, but thank you. That's very kind of you to message that. Yeah, we always try. I try and build my streams around VATSIM events, and we've been to Frankfurt before, we've been to Riga before. Haven't flown between the two, but at the end of the day, VATSIM gives an extra level of realism, which you just don't get offline. Yes, offline is great occasionally for streams, especially like the 747, the first stream we did. It gives it a break to talk about the aircraft, but it gives you that level of realism that you wouldn't get otherwise. Hey Anthony, could you stir the cryo tags? Thanks. Is that an Apollo 13 reference? Matt Warren, have you ever had to fly into extremely hot climates? How does that affect your landing and takeoffs? Living in Arizona, being well over 110 degrees Fahrenheit in the summers. I'm always curious, thanks. Yes, Matt Warren, so density altitude is affected by temperature, pressure, primarily temperature, and yeah, hot temperature makes it makes the air a lot less dense, which has a huge impact on aircraft performance. Now we're very lucky in the 21st century, because all we need to do with the OPT is punch the figures in the outside air temperature, the inches of mercury or hectopascals, wherever you are in the world, your takeoff weights, the runway you're using, the intersection for departure, you can even put MEL or any issues like that, and it will give you a thrust setting which will ensure all your V-speeds are legal and correct and safe. So yeah, it makes a huge difference on performance. Prior to that, you'd have to calculate your what we call RTOW weight, which is the maximum weight you can lift based off the external conditions using tables. But yeah, density, altitude, on very hot days, Madrid is an example in Europe, can have a big impact on your takeoff performance. It's very hot there in the summer. AVEX, how far from the runway on average do you lower the landing gear? Again, that varies from operator to operator. At my operator, AVEX, we're quite late configuring the gear, but it's completely safe. Usually 5 miles in IMC, 4 miles in VMC is the last point at which we could configure, but in normal conditions we configure then. But you can configure far sooner. I mentioned last stream, I went to Alicante less than a week ago. In fact, if you have a look on my shorts, my YouTube shorts, I have quite a cool video which I did comparing the Zebo Mod FMC to the real world FMC. I put that on Instagram as well, on my Instagram page. Yeah, we went to Alicante, and the Vilna arc there, we put us onto an 18-mile final, and we had a 45 knot tailwind. We went flap 1, flap 5. We were doing about 180 knots, and the aircraft sort of didn't slow down, so we went to flap 10. And in the 737, you're very restricted by flap 10 with regards to your maximum indicated airspeed. You're limited to 210 knots maximum. So we went to flap 10, 180 knots with speed brake out, and the aircraft just accelerated. Idle thrust, flap 10, speed brake, and it just went accelerated. It was 180, 185, 190, not quite that quick, but it was to the point where it got to 200 knots, saying we can't do much more. We either could go to flap 5 and let the aircraft go to 250 knots, but we're approaching 12 miles, we want to start slowing down, so we had to lower the gear. The only way to do it was to lower the gear. So yeah, going to your point, where can we lower the gear? Typically 4 or 5 miles at my operator, some less, but you can also lower the gear if required, if you need that bit of additional drag. Just replying to our man on VATSIM. Cool, guys, I'm just going to take a quick break, just get some water because I have absolutely no drink here. I'll be back here in less than 3 minutes. Okay, I'm just going to put you in the external view. I'll turn it down so I don't deaften you, and then we can start talking about our flight and approaching to Frankfurt. See you in a second. Thanks a lot for that. Just got some more water. Trying to keep the noise down because Marianne's trying to get to sleep. Andy H1302, you're flying an Airbus. Do we get a V1 impression tonight after we did your last stream? I watched that. Sent me a link. V1 Simulations said check close holds. Tried to do my accent. I can't do an American accent. I don't know where. Tootin' fruitin'. There we go. Exhausted. Ollie Crocky, what's that text on the gear door? Oh dear, what have you done? Got some mowing done here. OL, am I missing something? There's probably some other things I've not seen in the cabin here. Frederick, is CPDL C8 cars coming to the A300? I think so, not so sure on that. Moan, what a shame it's dark. Oh, I don't know. Tootin' fruitin'. That's an American thing, isn't it? Gosh darn. Should have a little look around the cabin. Anyway, let me just see how far away from top of descent here as well. I've still got my weather radar at -9. That's not great. It's a tilt now, -2. That's fine. So, top of descent. Where is that going to be? I'm going to put some restrictions in here to descend a little bit earlier to allow for a bit of a straight in, but it's at around 58, so I reckon it's going to be a little less than, I'd say, approximately 30 minutes. Just throwing a bit of ridiculous callbacks. We did a bit of a Lizzie Winston to yours. I heard it. Amazing. Let's have a little look around the cabin here anyway. Oh, hold on. I need to turn the cabin lighting up. Settings. Let's go full white and a little bit of blue, alpaca blue. Let's save that. There we are. Oh, slammed the toilet door in my face.
You can follow our progress on the flight map being shown on our overhead screen. On today's flight, we will have a complimentary meal along with a selection of complimentary beverages. As you prepare for the onboard service, you may begin to use your electronic devices. We urge you to keep your seatbelt fastened at all times.
This looks like they're just about to start the evening meal service.
Turbulence can occur unexpectedly. When the seatbelt
There's
sign
your
is on,
flight
you are
deck sim
allowed to
favourite
move around the
words.
cabin. Please do not congregate in any area of the cabin.
Face reveal rigged. These are the most common requests in chat. The bird tokens in chat. Unbelievable. 2 blues, 1 red. Check close hold.
The captain has turned off the seatbelt sign.
What's that meant to be?
About the cabin. However, we recommend you keeping your seatbelt
Here's first class.
even when the seatbelt sign is off in case there is unexpected turbulence.
All the flight information's there. Obviously the alpaca no smoking sign is still on. It's a really nice cabin. Here's economy. 333 seating configuration. Oh, Moen, what have you done? There's probably something else you've done here I'm not aware of. $119 miles to go. Very nice cabin though. I'm going to go to 232 at the rear here, because obviously the fuselage starts to converge. Beautiful.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
There's the rear. And it's so loud back here. It's amazing. Thank you, Lawrence.
Hey Cap, ever had to side slip a jet? Is it something you do in training?
Thank you very much, Lawrence Draper, for the £5 donation.
30, 20, 10.
Tootin' fruit V1.
Check. Close. Hold the attitude butter. Didn't work for me last time, but I will strive to get better. Winking face. Have a great weekend, sir.
Thank you very much, V1 Simulations. I actually clipped on YouTube your excellent impression of oneself. The check close on. I was sharing it to some of the members here after someone sent me it to me. Absolutely amazing. Thank you firstly to V1 Simulations for the $5 donation. Very kind of you. And guys, if you have not heard of V1 Simulations, please I ask you to go check him out. He is the Airbus equivalent of what I do. So he's a 320 pilot for a US airline, and he'll give you all the guidance you need on how to operate that mysterious jet of sorts. Thanks V1, and Lawrence Draper, thank you for the £5. Have you ever had to side-slip a jet? Is it something you can do in training? Now it's something that's not approved at my operator, however Boeing actually do have a crosswind kind of side-step technique we can use. It's not approved here, but no, it's not the sort of aircraft. I'm a little bit higher here on the final approach. You can't jam the rudder in and put opposite aileron and then bring it down on a quicker rate of descent to recapture the profile. The rudder is only to be used to decrab during the flare or to counteract an engine failure. So yeah, thank you very much both to V1 Simulations and Lawrence Draper there. Very kind. Gina says, look below you. Is there some traffic? I can actually pop my head under the aircraft like this. So the aircraft on that sim, or? Oh, looks all clear for me. Ben Beatrix, do you prefer tailwind landing or circle to land, or vice versa? Far rather take a tailwind landing. 10 knot tailwind is the usual limit. However, we do have approval onto certain runways of 15 knots tailwind as well. Tailwinds has a negative impact on your landing performance, but at certain airports they'll have a preferential runway and they'll accept a tailwind up to a certain amount here. Corfu's one of them. Landing on 3-4, we actually have 15 knot tailwind approval. However, if you're having to use that, you're getting quite close to the maximum stopping performance of the aircraft, as in the landing distance required is the same as the landing distance available, so you're having to use a lot of brakes there. But they don't want you to start using the other runway unless you have to, because it's quite a difficult circling approach and it really affects our arrivals and departures into the airport there. Cool, right, we best start setting up for our approach to Frankfurt. This is the part of the stream where it gets fun, because I've actually not completed an entire test sector. Finish it at this point, sort of things I had to do. So let's get up to Frankfurt. I'm pretty confident with the obviously runway 25 in use. Coming in from the north then, I should think they'll probably put us on 25 right, which is the airport a little bit further away from the main airport, a bit of a taxi in as well, but we'll of course confirm with ATC. We're just out of range. Actually, no, what? Let's try and we haven't used yet ACARS once today. So if we go here to ACARS weather request. No, there's no. I don't think we're in range of the ATIS yet, so we might not get it. Let's
50,
try Frankfurt.
40, 30, 20, 10.
Thank you very much, Keith Davey, for the $5 US. Very kind. With a hippopotamus. GG, he said. Good game. Thank you for your donation. Very kind. So thanks for your emoji. Currently no ATIS available. Okay. So let's try. Just get the METAR then. There's no CBDLC tonight, unfortunately. Weather request, METAR. Let's try that. You'll need your night vision goggles for this. Let's put the dome lighting on so we can actually read it for a second. Ah, my eyes. There we are. So there's the latest METAR printed off and put it up here. 1850 Zulu, so it's about half an hour ago. 2208, 10k, view at 4000, 20 degrees, QNH is 1007. So weather's absolutely fine there this evening. Let's get the charts available then. So arrival will be a Kerax 2 Alpha. That's it in its entirety. How much of this will fly? I have no idea. Depends how busy it is. Like always with flying at these airports, it's a bit of a guess of trying to you know, trying to put what you expect. If you expect straight in, you can put a much lower restriction in the FMC to allow for that. I'm going to go for 25 right. 3 landing runways in this direction, right, centre and left. Oh god, it's going to get lost taxiing again, aren't we? It's just not a small airport. Airport, not my days. And God knows where we'll park. Let's put parking stands east. Yeah, okay. Hopefully it'll be somewhere there. If not, I've got all the charts in front of me from my operator for Frankfurt mine. We are ground taxi east as well, and ground taxi west. Alright, that should help me after we've landed, hopefully. Cool. So, let's have a look at this arrival first. There we are. So we've got the weather, fuel, calculate, FMS, departure arrivals, step through each point to see what we're going to do. So, let's find Carax. Actually, you know what? I can actually do this. It's probably the best way to brief. Ah, that's nice, actually. So I hope you can see all that. So Carax is where it starts here. So the full arrival, there's 2 Carax arrivals. One that keeps you to the north of the airfield, one that keeps you to the south. And obviously you're going to use the southerly one if you want a landing on 25 left or perhaps centre. And then you're going to be using the northerly Carax arrival if you're going to be landing on 25 right. So it says here, RNAV required, which we have, radars required, Carax 2 Alpha, for non-GPS aircraft required, you have to have these VORs operational, we have RNAV. And it just gives you the full routing. Now, sometimes on these sort of charts it will tell you for sequencing you can expect to be at this altitude at a certain point for a straight in, but it doesn't look like we're going to get that today. So, hello again. What do you want? It's because Mummy's in bed and you want attention from me, isn't it? Oh, yeah, okay. Jack, on your bed then, on your bed, come on. On your bed. Good. He gets a little bit, you know, wants attention because none of us is here giving you attention at the moment. Jack away. So going to go from Carax. Now if we could expect a bit of a shortcut here. Initial approach fix for 25 right is Delta Foxtrot 426. So if you actually have a look here on the ILS, you have 423, 422 and there's 426. So sort of tactically I can expect a little bit of a shortcut here, I think, from Carax to 426. Depends how busy it is. Now, my question is trying to work out how many track miles or what altitude we need to be at Carax for a straight in. And I think my operator actually gives me a little bit of a clue. It does say 80 on instructor heading speed, vertical speed. You can expect in low demand situations quiet to expect direct routing to Delta Foxtrot 426 for 25 right, or 652 or 411. And I swear it gives you an altitude, something to put in somewhere, but no. In the 7.3 it's very easy. You can just put Carax direct to the waypoint you want and it'll give you a predicted level. I'm just going to sort of work it out roughly here. So Delta Foxtrot 426, 4812 from 423. 423 is then how many miles from touchdown? So Nibab 14, 5 is going to be, let's call it 20, plus 4 is 25, 30, 35, 40, yeah, call it 35 miles, okay, so 35 at 426, so I want to be at 426, 35, so about 10,000 feet, 426, yeah, 11, all the ones there, so I want to be around 10,000 feet at 426, which is fine. What I want to know is from Carax, what's the distance there? I'm trying to see what that is. What scale is that? 7.5 miles. So let's just put the circle on 426. So 7.5. That's 15 miles away, isn't it? So 15 times 3, 45. I reckon would have been around 15,000 feet at Carax for a straight in. I'll put us on profile for straight in. So what I'm going to do at Carax is whack in 15,000 feet. At the moment, look, we're at 27,000 feet. Impossible to come straight in off Carax at that height. Actually, they'll be sort of asking what you're doing at that height anyway. So what I'm going to do is at Carax put 150 below. And that will cater for a bit of a straight in there. So that's in. There we are. So Carrick's 150, and hopefully the profile mode will have updated the top ascent point to give me a descent to make Carrick's level at 150. So I hope that sort of makes sense with regards to what I'm talking about. By sort of shorting that entire approach with allowing, after being level at 150, a straight in approach here. It doesn't give any minimum heights or anything on the arrival here. So yeah, we've done that. Anyway, I'm not going to step through every single waypoint, but you can see it sort of looks right on the picture. 411 to 416, and it's a vector just down a heading, but we've just gone direct to 426 for the initial approach fix there. Let's have a look at the ILS now. It's got quite a steep missed approach climb gradient, 5%. Just about twice as steep as what it would be usually. Oh no, 2 FMSs. Let's get rid of that. Get rid of that. So I should have updated my top descent point now with that restriction. So let's have a look here where it is. There we are. Oh, got a little bit of weather. Look, 160 miles. There we are. So we've got a new top descent arrow just before makes there. Oh, there's a Luca. That was our next fuel check actually, wasn't it? An hour into the flight, I think it was. There it was, a Luca. Second fuel check then. 58 minutes we should be into the flight. For exactly 58 minutes we should have used 5.5 tons of fuel. 5.5. We've used, what's that, 5.3 tons, so about 100 kilos saved. We should have 6.3. We have 8.6. 8.3. Still got that extra 2,300 kilos, so about 40 minutes or so. Excellent, so fuel check's done at Luca. We've already briefed the arrival. Let's have a look at the ILS. So plate 11-7 for Frankfurt. Frequency is 11135. That's active, and the course is 247. Height check at the final approach fix. I think it's final approach fix of NIBAP. It's not very clear if it's the final approach fix. So we'll do a height check there. Minimum set. I think this isn't Cat C. I think we're Cat D in this aircraft. So slightly. Look, it's a 5 foot difference. So 558. We'll set that as our minimum is 205. So I think there's 2 ways of doing it. Put that to 205 here. Just gives us the correct call out. Would usually use DH to set the height. I believe that's Berlin we're about to fly overhead. Or not. A little bit of weather ahead there. Yeah, it must be Berlin. Why EDDB? Yeah, because there's Foxtrot Whiskey Echo, which is near Berlin. Quite surprised it's not coming up with Berlin there. Echo Delta Delta Bravo. Yeah. So I think that's the old airport there. Temple, is it Tempelhof? Can't remember. We did our flight there, but yeah, there's Berlin. Yeah, there's the new Berlin airport. Not sure why it's not appearing on the display here. Who knows? Bit of weather around though. Keep a close eye on that. James P, have you tried assigning flashlight to a button on your joystick? It's nice to turn on quickly if you want to see what you're clicking without having to turn on the dome lights. Is that available at X-Plane? I know they've got one for Microsoft Flight Simulator. I'll keep a close eye on that. Well, left thing on the ILS then. Frequencies, courses, minimums we've set. We'll hopefully get vectors, not fly this full arrival, but via NIBAP onto the localizer and ILS. Looks like a 3-degree ILS as well, down to the minimums which is set. And you have to go around it. It's climbed straight ahead till 6.3 off FFM or Foxtrot Romeo Delta. As long as it's coded, we can use nav 247 Foxtrot. That's fine. And then we're going to make a right turn instead of the 139 inbound to Tango Alpha Uniform Taunus. Then I make a right turn inbound to Metro VOR. So 247 intercept Tango Alpha Uniform and then inbound to Metro. So I'm happy that the missed approach is coded. Climbing to 5,000 feet. There we are. Landing performance then. Let's have a look at that for 25 right. Yes, flashlight to your lower left. Is that an iniBuilds thing or X-Plane 11 thing? Didn't know about that. Got to love the A310, such a great aircraft. I know, I really like it. I've been looking forward to streaming it again since it's been released. Nice to do some night flying as well. Runway condition dry, landing weight. What's that going to be? So fuel prediction, 6 tons on arrival. We have 8.4, so 2.4 tons below our gross weight of 113.1. So 111.1, 110.7. Let's try full flaps. Brakes low, reverse. Let's try full reverse. Compute. So our landing distance available at 2,800 metres. With auto brake to low, even factored, we only need 2,200, leaving us 940 metres to spare. So we'll go auto brake low, and if we can make either Papa 14 or Papa 16. If we float a lot, we've got Papa 20 available. And there we are, Papa 1, or maybe all the way in via Papa to get lost on trying to find our stand. There we go. So very cool. Full landing performance calculator available. Auto brake to low. We'll use second D10 reverse as well. Sorry, prepared fly. Only idle reverse available in Frankfurt. I think you might be right, actually. Let me look at my company's airfield brief. Shouldn't on a dry runway make any difference, but we'll try it. 1860. Let's see if they actually change it. So this is something that iniBuilds might need to look into. Changing it could be different in the A300 though, to be fair, the A310. With the OPT, the real OPT, if you select dry runway and select an auto brake setting, reverse thrust has no impact on your stopping distance on a dry runway. The auto brake system on the 737 works by giving you a fixed rate of deceleration. So if you select auto brake 1, 2 or 3 and use reverse thrust, the aircraft will still slow down at the same rate. All that reverse thrust is doing is aiding that deceleration and allowing the wheel brakes to do less, and that aids with brake cooling. However, on the OPT on this, selecting even on a dry runway, no reverse and reverse seems to increase your landing distance, which is a bit unusual. Again, it could be different for the A310, not sure, but reverse thrust with auto brakes on the 737 makes no impact on your landing distance. So you can see that on the OPT calculation when you select auto brake 1, 2, 3. Remember, this is a dry runway. Obviously, if it's wet or contaminated, yes, reverse thrust will start to have an impact on your stopping distance. But that's now saying 2,353 with idle reverse. So yeah, that's more like Papa 20 then. So yeah, we'll go idle. If we want to play it very realistic, we'll go from there. Ah, you have assigned a standard X-plane flashlight. Oh, okay, I haven't assigned anything to it. I didn't even know there was a flashlight there. So yeah, I'll bear that in mind when we next fly at night. Perhaps assign that prior to the stream. Cool, I think we've covered everything. FMS we've checked, taxi routing, auto brake settings, flaps we've discussed, fuel we've discussed, extra fuel about 35 minutes to get to our alternate. We're holding before we have to divert to our alternate Frankfurt Hahn, and we're just waiting for top of descent. Still have no ATC at the moment. Top of descent, we've updated, remember, that's a little over 80 miles away, around 100 miles or so. Sorry, Frankfurt Moin. All these Germans, chat's not going to be upsetting. Anthfaron. Love the way iniBuilds implemented SimBrief coupling. No longer do you need to download flight plans. I know, but unfortunately, for me anyway, since the update, that's not working. So I did have to put the flight plan in manually today. Not a big deal, but it was all fine in the end. Is it default key binding F for flashlight? No, that's to move my head down. Don't me quit the thing. Alt F4, whatever. I am watching you 75. How often is reverse thrust being used more than idle in Europe? Really depends where you're flying into. Large international airports often want you to use idle reverse at certain times. We plan, where possible, to use idle reverse thrust on all landings. However, if you have quite a short turnaround, you will often have issues with brake cooling if you don't use idle reverse, so we do often use it. On the last flight of the day, we generally use idle. Have you been to Frankfurt in real life? I haven't actually prepared for that. I haven't. Daniel Parker, do you use mnemonics when setting up aircraft? Yes, we have several mnemonics we use at my operator. There's lots of well-known ones. Lots of airlines use them to remember things as well. A very well-known one that you're taught during an MCC and jock is DODA, which is used in non-normal situations. You want a lot of attention tonight, don't you, Doug? Jack is wondering why he can't go see Mummy. Oh my goodness me. Can you hear his tail whacking on the desk? Good boy. Come on, lay down there. On your bed. On your bed. Come on. Good boy. Cool. Just press this. Oh. Oh, well, I can actually just keep that updated. Oh, yeah. Beautiful. So a little bit of weather off to our left, but far enough from our routing. We're upwind of it as well. Ah, someone's knocking on the door. Centre 124050. Oh, he does have CPDLC actually. We'll try and log in if you like.
Norwegian 148 at flight level 300, going to Atco.
So just before I check in, I'll try and log into CPDLC. So Riga, Frankfurt.
Flight level 320, Eurowings 7.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Thank you, Mark.
Here's to you, sir. Just to thank you for all you do for us, Arf Geeks.
Thank you very much, Mark Jackson. Glad you still enjoy the content. Thank you for the continued support as well. Appreciate the gesture. And, yeah, I'm an Av Geek too, so don't worry about it. Jack, will you lay down? Honestly. So I've logged into CPDLC, guys. I was still checking on voice. Login request sent, and hopefully he'll come back to us and we can communicate with CPDLC.
Alpaca 1 Echo, descent flight level 250.
Descent flight level 250, Alpaca 1 Echo.
Munchen, hello, Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha, maintaining flight level 380, inbound to Cossacks. We've logged into CPDLC.
Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha, low identified, Mach 0.77 or less, please.
77 or less, Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha.
And who was the other station checking in?
So, what's the easiest way to update this? Look, ATC message, excellent. So that means I can actually turn him down slightly. So ATC message, we can disregard that, that's CPDLC. Message received. There we are, current ATC units, Munchen, very good, log on accepted. We're on to CPDLC, very cool. Yeah, sorry, I need to slow down. How do I... It's an Airbus, surely I can pull this and I take control. How do I update the speed again? I mean, it should be doing that already, decimal 77. We're doing 78 though, we should be going a little bit slower. I swear there's a way of updating the entire thing at once. I can change my cost index. Let's try 5. I might have done it actually. Still a little bit fast, 7, 8. You were pushing, you need to pull. How do I do a pull? I know it's a pull, but there we are. 7, 7, done. I'm airbussing. Cool. So yeah, we're logged into CPDLC. So CPDLC, if you haven't seen it before, guys, controller pilot data link communication. It's a way we communicate with ATC now. Means that less VHF voice can be used, and they can communicate to you via text messages. So we just received a message saying, "Yeah, log on accepted," and they can communicate via text. We have our new speed, decimal 7, so it could be very busy then, because we are still 60 miles from top of descent. We've already been told to slow down slightly. Trolls, I've never seen it, but do you ever do emergencies on VATSIM? They will accommodate it, not on a busy VATSIM vent, but I think if you have it, you can simulate it. But if I was to simulate one now, they'd be like, yeah, bugger off. It's busy, you know. Obviously, in real life, yeah, they can't have that choice, but I know it's something we did discuss doing perhaps on one stream. Hello, Andy Hughes, hope you're doing well. Evening all, late again. Have I missed anything exciting? All good so far, not too far from top of descent. We're currently talking to Munich Radar and logged into CPDLC.
Flight level 250 at 2,000 feet or more, Euro 75.
See how busy he is.
Descent level 200, what about that?
Thanks, 2 tons. I found it eventually. Yeah, I remember on Airbus you need to pull. It was just trying to find how to get that down arrow. That was it.
Right, so again, 24 Tango X-ray. 24 Tango X-ray, report your speed to landing 124725.
Busy.
124, 725, high speed, minus 24 Tango X-ray.
131, I'm on this.
31.
There was 1000, descent level 340.
It's Leipzig. We're just north of Leipzig.
1.78 on radar.
That's off to that left down here.
Und direkt anpassen und dann haben wir alles zusammen.
Okay, direkt anpassen.
Adam, bit of topic. Why does the 737 engine start switches have an auto function but still have to be switched to continue to take off and landing? My operator, we don't have the auto option, so you do have to select continuous manually. For the auto, I think it provides, when you select engine anti-ice on, it automatically starts the igniters or something like that, but we have to do it manually.
280 knots.
Scott Irvine, do you have a procedure for policy that the cockpit door will be open and the seatbelt sign goes on irrespective of turbulence? Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if we have to leave the flight deck during flight, seatbelt sign has to be on, and all passengers have to be seated as well. Obviously. Set flight level 310, back at 31 X3 Alpha. So, early descent, so 310. Oh, I wish it was using CPDLC, but that's early descent, so what I'm going to actually do, if I select profile, what will it do? Will it descend at 1,000 feet per minute, as we're very early? We'll keep an eye on that. I think it will. Yeah, so that's sort of like VNAV and ENG. Obviously we're below profile, so only descends you at 1,000 feet per minute because you don't want to get too low. Decimal 77 will maintain. Top percent in chat, ladies and gentlemen. You forgot the flight directors on the FO's PFD. Jim doesn't need them, Adam. It's like Luke Skywalker on the first Star Wars. Oh yeah, so doing 2,000 feet per minute. That's a little bit too much. Not really that long. Just going to burn fuel. Let's do vertical speed 1,000. Auto throttle's going to maintain decimal 77. Restricted speed. I hope you're enjoying the stream, guys. I love these sort of Friday night busy VATSIM events. That's cool. I hope we're going to get 25 right as well. Just got the ATIS. Expect independent parallel ILS approaches 25 left and 25 right. And they're using 1825 centre, 25 left and 25 right. I'm so busy.
News had a very good evening, KL 110 voice with 2 Pacific 5 level 200 heading 320.
Thank God, it's awesome, you're sweating and me chilling. Oh, I'm not sweating just yet. Just yet. So you got a direct to Robel. Thank you, Adam. And Charles Darwin. Love flying at night, very pretty, very much enjoying the stream. Very chill, isn't it? Although it's absolutely hellish busy in Frankfurt this evening.
Alpaca 318 Alpha, descent flight level 250 on conversion, speed 270 knots or less.
Descent flight level 250 on conversion, 270 knots or less, Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha. So 250 on conversion, 270 knots or less. We're doing 260. We'll maintain 77 till 270. He sent us an ATC message on CPDLC. Service terminated. Oh well, it was fun whilst it lasted. Log off. Okay. I could print it if I wanted, but yeah, he's obviously only providing en route service. So yeah, never mind. It's great to see it working, and well done for iniBuilds for implementing such a cool feature, and no doubt more developers will be utilising CPDLC as a feature. So cool, very realistic. So nearly doing 270 knots, so we'll switch over now to 270. Heading 270 degrees, Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha. Okay, so we're already getting delayed vectors. What we're going to do then, he said 270 or less, I'm just going to slow down because we're just going to burn fuel. So let's do 250, just keep doing 1,000 feet per minute. 4,000 feet below profile.
Yep, V6.
So that's quite a deviation there. He's just wanting to increase the gap between myself and the aircraft ahead. 2 tons always fly at night. Safe dry space we're not taking up by Ortho. Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to use Zoom level 15, 16 on route now. I need to actually ask one of you guys in Discord to go through the tile authenticator, the thing that checks ortho tiles. Because it isn't so much the effort of downloading lots of tiles, it's actually, it just takes one corrupt tile to crash X-Plane. But yeah, the FPS is now what? 2,500 feet per minute or greater, and expect the restriction at level at Robel, Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha. So 2,500 feet per minute, expect 250 level at Robel. Looks like where the banana is, that's pretty much a beam Robel, so we'll keep that rate in for ATC.
Alpaca 21 Echo Foxtrot, you can proceed direct to Gapla now. Golf Alpha, Papa Lima Alpha.
250 below Robel. That should update the profile. There you go, keep you a rough idea of where you should be.
Stop descent 230, you're running 585.
And there's traffic 12 o'clock, right to left. I call you back from further descent. Speed now 270 knots.
Watcher looking for traffic and speed 270 knots, you're running 585.
A long step, very late for FNO in America sometime. Yeah, so I do see those events. They start midnight. Left turn heading 200 degrees, Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha. Yeah, so those VATS events are so late for Europe start. Maybe if it's 11 o'clock at night start, I'll do it. If I'm on a late shift, because some late shifts I don't land until 1 in the morning anyway, so my body will be attuned to that time, but I'll keep an eye on it.
You're running 585 the rise.
I would just enjoy the outstanding descent over my
And over to
popcorn and
line
coke. Excellent.
125, your ring 75, goodbye.
Control. Alpaca 318 Alpha, descent level 220.
So for level 220, Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha. Do you still need 2,500 feet per minute?
No, we are good. On grade of descent, thank you.
Pre-rated descent Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha. There we are. Otherwise, I'm just going to be levelling off way too early. So we'll just go back to 1,000 feet per minute. Just bear in mind that restriction at Roble.
When ready, descent level 290.
I did F&O once. Never complain about London area being busy again.
On the 28 Delta Echo, proceed direct Alpha.
Direct at
Order 906, Luton 139.
You start 2300 Zulu, so once you're back on GMC, that wouldn't be so bad. Yeah, that would be 11 o'clock local. Yeah, I'm happy to stream until 1, half 1 in the morning for those events. Yeah, so long as I'm not on an early block of shifts, so otherwise, one of the things that.
Alpaca 318 Alpha, thank you for your help on navigation to Roble, descent flight level 230. Sorry, remain level 220 and proceed direct to Roble.
So for level 220 direct to Roble, no problem, Alpaca 31 Extra Alpha. So, as cleared with the restriction,
Alpaca 218 Foxtrot, speed
direct to Roble, insert, and nav. There we are. It's not like a 320 where it turns automatically, I love that.
Flight level 270 at Armwood, Lufthansa Dynamite.
From the 220 climb level 300.
Hold on. Have I accidentally... I've accidentally gone to the wrong waypoint here. I'm meant to be going direct to Roble.
On the C500.
Hold on. Just put that back in. I've accidentally put the wrong waypoint in. I thought I put Roble. Yeah, you know what to do in chat, ladies and gentlemen.
35 below the identified, descent level 280.
Descent level 280 on the 235.
Alpaca 218 Foxtrot, contact Langen 124725.
I don't want to put that in straight away in case it's not Roble.
318 Alpha, descent level 200 to reach at Roble.
And for level 200 to be level at Roble, Alpaca 31 Extra Alpha.
That's it, has 2514.
Yes, no idea.
To Langen 123275.
Ah, that's not it.
Langen 123.
5,200 miles away.
This is 7 Juliet Tango, descent level 240 to contact Damja, speed 2809.
Can somebody spell the point, please? I'm not going to tell you, see, too embarrassed. Robel. Yeah, I'm just testing you guys. Well done. Well done. Nav. T1's is 200 level at Roble as well, so let's just increase that rate of descent. Oh.
Alpaca 318 Alpha, thank you for your help. Your speed to Langen 124725.
124725 the speed. Alpaca 31 Extra Alpha. Bye.
20,
Need to make out.
10.
Make sure I find out what Roble, Gapler. Perfect. It's as on the flight plan.
This A310 is making me happy. iniBuilds is surpassing itself every time : _FT2 Smega.
What was that? Everything's making me happy. iniBuilds is surpassing itself every time. Flying Sim Mega. Thank you very much for your donation there, Fabio, as the workload increases drastically. Very kind of you, and glad you enjoyed the iniBuilds. I certainly do enjoy it. Once I eventually make sure I'm actually going in the right direction, that is. Anyway, just keep that rate of sync going just to make sure that we get that restriction at 200 level by Roble. See, look, it's struggling to maintain that 250 knots I've set, but not a big problem.
Correction 6 for Papa Tango Langen.
Langen radar, hello, Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha, descending flight level 200, inbound Roble, speed 270 knots or less.
Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha, Langen radar, hello, identified, cleared KVAX 2 Alpha arrival, expect flight level 110 at KVAX, and you can expect a direct to KVAX in approximately 2 minutes.
Descend to flight level 110 and expect the Carrox to Alpha. Back at 31 X-ray Alpha. 110 checked, and yeah, I'm happy we pretty much made that restriction, so let's do 1,000 feet per minute. And he said we could expect the Carrox to Alpha.
You're wing 585, report your speed too long and 120 left right, bye-bye.
1208 with the speed, Euro wings 585, thank you and goodbye.
6,000 feet below profile, but we had to make that restriction. I'm just going to make sure we're doing 270 knots. There we go. Which I also direct Carrax in 2 minutes, yes. But I don't need to read that back. You can do, but you know, just the important stuff, flight level, your direct routing. Was it actually route direct to? Oh yeah, it was right direct to Carrax. Wrong number Z. What might you use? I have the Arcticus 5 Steel Series headset. Very good. Audio quality is great for streaming, great for that. I highly recommend the headset. Had it for about 3-4 years now. Still works perfectly.
13925,
I find calls like that make me hold back from my first VATSIM flight. Just say again. There was quite a lot of information there at once, to be fair.
Attacker 31 X-ray Alpha, proceed direct Kenax, Kilo Echo Romeo Alpha X-ray, descend flight level 110 to reach at Kenax.
So flight level 110, direct to Carrax, and to be 110 level by Carrax, South back at 31 X-ray Alpha. Direct Carrax, insert. LNAV's engaged, 110 below at Carrax.
Attacker 21 Echo Foxtrot, confirm direct Carrax.
Carrax, 0. So remember that 150 below I put in, it wasn't too far off. So 110 below, that's coded.
Attacker 31 X-ray Alpha, speed 250 knots.
Speed 250 knots, Alpha 31 X-ray Alpha. And that's put us pretty much bang on profile at minus 260. Look at that. So that descent planning we had initially, or by ATC as well, has worked really nicely. Go to profile mode. Just bear in mind though, it's going to not put us at the right speed, so I'm going to select that. Oh, that puts level change. So you can't have profile mode and select your own speed, which is a bit of annoying. Alright, 250 knots level change then. And that profile mode will keep us, what we'll do, we'll follow profile mode and level change, and that's going to put us level at 110 Carrax. And that's a really nice level for a straight in there. Scott Vine, maybe a stupid question, but can you do non-ILS visual landings after dark? So yeah, you can fly visual approaches at night. A bit of a fool's game in a commercial environment, but it's completely approved. But you've got to make sure you've got to be fully aware of the terrain around you. Make sure you're happy that where it is. But there's a sort of my own personal rule. I don't fly visual approaches at night. You can, but you can't self-position below the MSA. You could get yourself onto fire, but you've got to make sure you're above the MSA until you're established on fire. Above the MSA. It's just dangerous. You're asking for trouble, basically. So a little bit of speed brake just to get back onto profile there, because remember profile mode won't give you that 250 knots. Is there a way of updating your target speed and descent? I don't know, we'll just mirror the profile. I might just use speed brake actually. So stow the speed brake, vertical speeds. Does it actually give you a target rate of descent required? It doesn't, it just gives you vertical deviation.
Along the radar, speed 170 go, flight level 3 to the 0, inbound body.
Basically, just put the banana on Carrax, that's what you got to do. Perfect, it's looking good. Seatbelt sign can come on.
Seatbelt sign. Please return to your seat and fasten your seatbelt.
Welcome. Cool.
$50, $40, $30, $20, $10,
Thank you very much, John Winter, for your donation.
Can't wait to see you fly to PRG. I used to fly for the same airline as flight attendant before COVID.
Very cool.
Luckily managed to find a great job on land. Thanks for hours of entertainment, sir. Clear skies.
Thank you very much, John Winter. He's potentially a colleague of mine, so glad you've you found something that you enjoy and you have a good job. So
Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha, report your speed to Langen 120.8, bye-bye.
120.8 with the speed, Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha, bye. Talking about speed, look, I'm meant to be doing 250 knots or less. Distracted, speed breaks out. So much going on. Thank you, John, that's very kind of you for your donation, and I hope you're doing well, and I hope you're enjoying your new job there. 128, get the speed break out as well. Just going to go level change. Level change 250, that way I'm definitely complying with speed breakout. Langen, hello, Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha, descending flight level 110 to be level at Carax, speed 250 knots. What's that frequency? Did I get the right frequency? Blast, because it doesn't have the transfer over, I can't remember what the previous frequency was either. What was the frequency? $1208, thanks guys. I was just looking for a frequency there. Yeah, it's a great shame.
Ryanair 127 Ryanair 24 Tango X-ray.
That sounds
Ryanair 24 Tango X-ray, contact director 127275 and descent 5.
Thank God, good to see you guys. Yeah, I miss having the recall function and the two frequencies you can't revert to your previous. There we are, so we're going to make that restriction at Carav. I've already gone to Al, that's fine. About 10 miles early, but never mind.
Flight level 80, you're reach traffic.
The traffic there. You can see all the strobe lights from all the aircraft. Oh my God, there's dozens. Langen, hello, Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha, flight level 110, Carax, 250 knots.
I stopped counting the Alpaca number tonight. Is there a group flight? Alpaca 31 X-ray, Lang, hello, identified, expect Alice Yankee 25 right.
Alice Yankee 25 right, 31 X-ray Alpha. You stop counting the alpacas. Alice Yankee then, slightly different approach than we were expecting. We did brief Zulu.
Alpaca 21 Echo Fox, Gerald, expect Alice Yankee 25 right, descent flight level 8. Lufthansa 2 November Foxtrot, continue on transfer.
Alice Yankee 25 right then, still the same via Delta Foxtrot 423. Actually select it here though.
Gravity.
73 Juliet, we went for a go round, now 5000, rounded to the flat.
KLM 73 Juliet, Lang, hello.
Right, let's see if I remember how to do that then. So,
maintain 5000.
Frankfurt, start,
Heading 5000, 73
Zulu.
Juliet.
Alice Yankee 25 right.
Gravity 2406, B2 to the knots.
Capital Alpha by 426 insert.
Star 2 Tango Yankee, B2 to the knots, and contact director 127.
That's good.
75, bye-bye.
Just want to make sure it goes towards Ged. It is, so that's the active waypoint.
Gravity 2406, same frequency for you, 127275, bye-bye. 127275, gravity 26.
Just make sure that selecting the new approach hasn't made any issues for us. No, it's exact same routing, but probably be the missed approach, which is slightly different. So we always check it. Alice Yankee 10975. It's actually a different frequency. That's really unusual. Localizer 10975.
Baltic A4 Whiskey speed 250.
Baltic A51 Whiskey Lang, hello, identified.
By Edipu.
Expecting
That makes me really nervous. Why is it a completely different frequency as the one we had before? 10975. But surely in X-Plane they only have one frequency for an ILS. 10975 on my operator's charts.
Lufthansa 80 Lima.
And 11135. That's really unusual. Two ILSs have completely different frequencies. The big question is though, surely in X-Plane, in X-Plane they only have one ILS frequency. Well, unless they have two. The question is, which one do I use? Obviously, in real life, they can switch the frequency depending on which one you want to use. Go from there. But yeah, 10975. The other one was 11135.
Tango Papa, climb flight level 130.
No terms Yankee because there's no term for ILS Zulu 25. Right, interesting. But in the X-Plane 11, do you not have ILS then? I mean, surely they've only programmed one of them.
Flight present heading Eurowings 585.
10975 likes and explain. Perfect. That's the clarification I like. So obviously in real life, yeah, they can switch the frequency, but obviously in that one the same works.
KLM 732, yeah, turn
Anyway,
right.
courses set minimums, probably slightly different as well. Cat D 55805, no, it's the same. RVR 550 metres. Missed approach exactly the same. Towns Metro 5,000 feet, so just a different frequency. Very interesting. It's an Airbus, leave it in auto. Press M to check on the X-ray map. That's actually a really good idea.
Yeah, not faster than 2.
Actually, you know what? I'm not going to do it. I'll base it off whatever. Someone said it works, so that's fine. Folks, don't know. Guys, so busy. Blocked.
Lufthansa 88 Papa, Lang 124725, bye bye.
Lang 124725, bye bye.
Lufthansa 2 Tango Papa, same for you. Lang
So on the arrival now, via Gurden. We've been cleared on the arrival for the previous procedure.
In case I missed
Approach controllers. So the idea is this. Instead of holding, they just keep you on these RNAV arrivals. If it was very busy, you'd be holding at Carracks. This is replacing these sort of arrivals. They're replacing holds now. A lot more efficient. You can see, look, aircraft already downwind, so we're having to fly all this there, and you can see, look, there's one aircraft there, already on that downwind leg, 3 aircraft there. Absolutely so busy. So busy. So guys, if you have just tuned in, we're level at 110 as per the restriction at Carracks. We're flying the Carracks to Alpha, which is a point merge RNAV, so all the way around here, waiting for a direct initial approach fix if it's quiet. But I don't think that's going to happen. So busy.
12725, thanks to those.
Here, aircraft that have gone around as well.
463, speed 220 knots.
I'll select ILS now. See if it picks up anything.
Left heading 09 on
Hasn't picked up anything yet. We're quite far out. There's no DME distance either.
Speeder 463, director 127275, course line only.
Look at that. That is absolutely crazy. Dual runway ups as well. That is so busy.
Eurowings 585, flight level 7.
I know there's a way of checking the frequency, but I don't want to. I might end up breaking something.
Flight level 70.
Total carnage. So busy, yeah. Alright, I'm definitely picking up something though. Picking up, apparently I'm on a low.
E1 X-ray Alpha, descent flight level 70.
Descent flight level 70, back at 31 X-ray Alpha.
Alpaca 21 Echo Fox.
70, just do 1,000 feet per minute.
Flight level 70.
Yeah, so we have an odd localised indication there. There's the airport over there, so I'm not sure where it is. So glide slope wise looks about right. Could be a bit of a sus ILS this one. Isn't that going to conflict with what you programmed in the MCDU? That's actually a very, very good point, Vanguard, but it's all okay because I have changed the ILS with the ILS Yankee approach 10975, so it shouldn't be a conflict in this case, and apparently it works. So. Right, so post cruise checks now, passing flight level 100, so we turn off lights on. I'm actually going to turn on the landing lights at this stage as well because I'll be too busy on the approach to do that when we configure to land. Fuel, we have a huge amount extra, 5.8, remember we 3.3 to divert, so we'll keep a close eye on that, especially if we have to go around. Ignition is required. Pressurization, disk pressure decreasing, cabin altitude's almost sea level set, seatbelts on. And the ECAM message checks complete.
585, direct Delta Foxtrot 411.
Direct Delta Foxtrot 411, Eurowings 585.
So he got a direct Delta Foxtrot 411.
851 Whiskey, descent flight level 70.
Setting flight level 70, Baltic 851 Whiskey.
Thanks, me a chart. Stole the ILS antennas and put them in my yard. You're
35,
landing here.
Contact, proceed direct EVRA. Proceeding direct
That's just
only for 35.
absolutely crazy how busy it is. I mean, even on the ground, look at that.
Alpaca 1 Alpha Victor Langen.
So we're getting sequenced in here.
Alpaca 1 Alpha Victor, go ahead.
Alpaca 1 Alpha Victor Langen, hello, right heading 340.
Right heading 340, Alpaca 1 Alpha Victor.
Star 2 Foxtrot November, descend 5,000 feet, QNH 1007. Down to 5,000.
So about a 411. We just need to make sure at 416 that we go on a heading. If we don't, the aircraft's going to start automatically turning to 426 from 416. So we got rid of that vector, remember. $250 knots, quite
Alpaca
high.
31 X-ray, right heading 250 immediately.
Riding 250 degrees. Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha. That sounds like traffic avoidance.
Air Baltic 851, continue on present heading.
He's not happy with something.
Air Baltic 851 Whiskey.
Eurowings 585, descend 5,000 feet, QNH 1007.
Someone's very close to
5,000
us.
feet, 1007, Eurowings 5
Not good for our fuel burn.
On Nippon 35, contact Langenräder 125.35, bye bye. Langenräder 125.35, on Nippon 35, turn up.
So now on vectors, he's obviously got some sort of conflict here, so he's going to keep us going in that direction.
Alpaca 1 Alpha Victor, right heading
So he doesn't forget about us.
Right heading 070, Alpaca 1 Alpha Victor.
Alpaca 2 1 Echo Foxtrot, left, direct, Delta Foxtrot 411.
Poor Frankfurt, Germany. A lot of alpacas all coming in at once.
Lufthansa 2 Foxtrot November, contact director 127.
Mitchell, to use finesse the EVS during climb descent to make it more comfortable for passengers. No, main reason is to prevent
Alpaca 12 Echo.
nuisance TAs and RAs by slowing the rate of climb down. So you've got someone that's level just 1,000 feet above or below your cleared level. If you're diving in at 4,000 feet, when you can get a TA even an RA. So that's the main reason.
Speed 220 knots, Eurowings 585.
Alpaca 21
Want to go?
Echo Foxtrot, speed 250.
That's our heading, so I think he's going to sequence us
Baltic
behind the
851
aircraft here.
Whiskey, continue
That's
on
really cool
present
on final though. Look how they've got their
Continue present heading,
sequence there.
Baltic 851 Whiskey.
So busy. I just hope he hasn't forgotten us. We'll just wait for a couple more minutes. Always to beam Frankfurt. Senior is by Aerosoft as well. Don't know how much fuel we're burning an hour. 2.5 tons an hour. It's such a guzzler. 5 tons an hour. Oh, it's not a huge amount extra. Like if we go around, it's going to be really. Yeah, I have to make a quick decision here. Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha. How much longer on the heading?
until I call you.
Okay. Definitely not forgotten about us then.
Alpaca 21 Echo Foxtrot, direct Delta Foxtrot 411.
That's not the sort of response you'd get in real life from ATC. They give you a little bit more information. The reason you're on the heading is this. Expect to turn X. X or Y. Because, you know, they've got to realise that we don't have indefinite amounts of fuel, you know. I was told, yeah. So there. There's 70. Oh, jeepers.
Sunset 893, lang hello ID.
Where are we going? My days.
Sunset 058, lang hello identified, climb flight level 130.
Alpaca 1 Alpha Victor, speed 250 knots, please. Speed 250 knots, Alpaca 1 Alpha Victor.
Yeah, I'm burning a lot more fuel than I'm expecting at this level.
Eurowings
That's
585,
nearly...
speed 220 knots. Speed 220 knots, Eurowings 585.
That's 3.5 tons an hour per engine.
Eurowings
That's
585, do me a favor, contact Director 127.
Only should I speed break out of one? No.
Favor granted, CA 127275, Eurowings 585,
Yeah,
goodbye.
I swear it's burning a lot more
Alpaca
fuel.
31 X-ray direct, Delta Foxtrot 411 now.
Delta Foxtrot 411, Alpaca 31, X-ray after.
Lufthansa 058, contact Langradar 124.7.
Make sure it's the right one this time. It's yeah, the 65% of one looks normal, but the fuel burn at the moment is... I mean, is that per engine fuel? Is that thousands? But yeah, we're burning almost 4,000 kilos per engine per hour. It's 8 tons an hour. I only have 5, so that's around 45 minutes. It would suggest that we're down to only 45 minutes of juice. I know we're in a turn, which increases your thrust, because as the aircraft turns, the aircraft needs to pitch up to maintain level flight. That creates a little bit more drag. Yeah, we're fine for an approach. We're on the go around. We have to be pretty quick in our decision whether to commit to another approach. Just to go straight in. It's as simple as that. And we have a lot more steps to complete before we ever have to do that. But I don't know, I was expecting to be burning a lot less fuel at this phase of flight. Our average fuel burn is 4.3 tons an hour, which suggests each engine's burning 2.1 tons an hour. It's burning twice that. FU is fuel used, so that's the digit here. The digit is the fuel used. I'm not using that, I'm using the needles. The needles look are showing 4 tons per hour each engine. That's the fuel flow. This is the fuel used. It just happens to be around the same. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Mitch. It's almost 9 tons an hour. That's 3 times more than I'd expect to be burning. So I'm literally guzzled up all that extra fuel I've taken. Let's see how his signals this There's made a bit of a gap between us and Alpaca 1 Alpha Victor. Speed brake stowed, yeah, double check, you can see it's definitely stowed. It was actually armed, but... There we are, it's gone down slightly now the turn's complete. So that's about, yeah, 5 tons an hour now we're burning, 2.5 each engine. And we have 4.8. So endurance-wise, we've got about 50 minutes left. It takes about half an hour, so... We can probably got another 15 minutes before I want to decide whether to divert. Maybe the fuel calculations are bugged. Maybe it cruises fine. Maybe at lower altitude though, it's burning a little bit too much fuel. I don't know.
We'll check Delta Yankee 255.
It does seem a little bit thirsty. I was expecting to be burning 4.2 tons an hour at this level. And at the moment we're burning 7 tons per hour, 3.5 per engine look. So it's burning not too far off twice as much fuel as I was expecting.
10 left by 5, Alpaca 1 Alpha Victor.
Anyway, we do have DME now, so that's a good sign. Hopefully this ILS will work. Approach checklist, we just need to wait until we're sent to QNH. Is that 4.2 not the average and we're at a much lower level? Yeah, but it's usually around that. Well, in the NG it is anyway. Again, it might be that these air gauges are far more thirsty at lower levels. 250, flying at 250 knots doesn't help much either. If I was doing 210 it would be a lot more efficient, but we'll have to fly the assigned speed. That aircraft on final. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boeing boy, have you done the Carnacy approach yet? That's the one into New York. I haven't. No.
Alpaca 1 Alpha Victor flying to 0.
Never turned off the coffee machine. Cost index, you change your cost index, that causes it. No, not. Oh, because I'm flying at 250 knots. Cost index won't make any change at this phase.
Fly, staying 070, speed 220 knots, Alpaca 1 Alpha.
Alpaca 3 Alpha descent 5,000 feet, QNH 1007.
So 5,000 feet, QNH 1007, Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha. 5,000 feet set. 500 feet per minute.
Baltic A310 Whiskey, report speed.
QNH 1007.
Transfer can give me 280 for now.
Do you want 280 confirm?
Confirm.
Roger, we got 280.
Set passing 6,704. 5,000 feet, standby altimeter set. Ornum, are you on final approach? No, on a sort of extended downwind leg at the moment. There we are. Wow. I didn't expect to fly the full arrival, I've flown it and then some. Charles, can you announce low fuel get priority can do? So there's sort of 3 stages to a fuel emergency. First stage is when you get close to your reserves, you want to ask for an estimated approach time, so that's the time when you expect to be cleared for the approach. Based off that, you then can decide whether to divert or commit to your destination. You can actually use your reserve fuel to land at your destination, but you're then committed. If you see that you're going to be landing close to your final reserve, aka 30 minutes of fuel remaining, but you're going to still land with more than that, but any changes to your clearance might jeopardise that, you call minimum fuel. Minimum fuel call isn't a mayday yet, it's basically, I'll be Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha declaring minimum fuel. That should then give ATC, it's not a priority, you know, it just lets ATC know that, you know, any further delay, you can have problems. If you see you're going to land with less than 30 minutes of fuel remaining, it's a mandatory mayday. It's mayday, 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 Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha, fuel. And that's telling ATC you're going to land with less than 30 minutes of fuel now, and that opens up all the opportunities for ATC. So basically, yeah, priority landing, they'll divert you to a disused runway if it's that serious and there's not a runway available. So yeah, they're the sort of 3 steps there. We have on board at the moment 4.4 tonnes. Based on our current fuel flow, don't forget we're descending here, we were saying 7 tonnes an hour, we're coming up to about 45 minutes, so if I was to go around it would be a minimum fuel call immediately. But yeah, I was not expecting this high fuel burn at this low altitude, far higher than I was expecting. I took an extra 30 minutes and we've guzzled that up with just that slight delayed extension on the downwind because we're burning so much fuel at the at a lower altitude here. Matthew, minimum fuel, only had to declare that once. Do you have the same thing stateside, Matthew? We have minimum fuel call, which is not a fuel emergency. 127275 confirm, Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha.
Correct.
Fine, it was so fast. 127275.
That's good, that better.
Director, hello, Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha.
Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha, director, hello. Direct Alpaca 21 Echo Foxtrot, proceed direct Delta Foxtrot 42227.
Weren't we also cruising a bit higher than optimal too? Yeah, but we're talking a small difference in fuel burn.
21 Echo Foxtrot, proceed direct Delta Foxtrot
2,000 feet or so. In that case, I mean, in the 737, you may be talking 100 kilos an hour. So in this thing, 200 or 300 kilos an hour difference.
And Alpaca 21 Echo Foxtrot.
We'll have a look at fuel used now. We'll look at that after we've landed and compare it to what we expected to have used, but it's a lot higher, I think.
Lufthansa 2 Fox Tango, speed 170 knots until 5 miles.
4.2. It's not a huge amount. I mean, look.
Alpaca 12 Echo, speed 170 knots until 5 miles.
FinRes, according to this, but that's completely accurate. This is what I mean, look. I'd like to look into this, because FinRes, look, this is our last 30 minutes. It says in the A310 is 1,800 kilos an hour. That's... Yes, because 1,800 kilos... I'm not going to be able to fly 30 minutes of this fuel burn of 3.5 tons per hour, 7 tons an hour. That's 3.5 tons. So basically, iniBuilds are saying we need 3.5 tons. It's 30 minutes based on that current fuel flow, and this is 1,800 kilos. So you can see it's almost twice. This is basically saying this is 30 minutes of fuel here is 1,800 kilos. No, it's not 1,800 kilos. Sorry, it's 3.5 tons more. It's actually nearly 4 tons is 30 minutes. That's your FinRes. So I'm pretty much touching fin res now. So it's either the flight plan needs updating, or there's a big difference. Oh crap! Hold on, I'm meant to be on a heading here.
Earrings 585, contact tower 124.85.
Crap, it's going to be cross. Why are we not flying ahead here?
585, thank you, and goodbye.
Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha.
I know.
Turn left heading 030.
Yeah, my apologies. We accidentally updated the next waypoint. Maintaining the vector now 030. Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha. Uh-oh.
Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha climb now, flight level 70.
Climb now, flight level 70, Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha, and declaring minimum fuel. Let's see what he does there. Because we are down
1
to
Alpha Victor, proceed direct Delta Foxtrot 422.
So it's because the fuel burn here is well off what the sim brief for there. So climbing flight level 70 is setting standard.
Alpaca 21 Echo Foxtrot speed 170 knots until 5 miles.
Is the gear down? Nope. Gear's off.
Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha, turn right heading 250.
Riding 250 degrees, Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha. So yeah, definitely sus with the fuel here, the fuel burn in this aircraft, because that's completely caught me off here with the plan. Oh look, iniBuilds. Oh, that's why. Look, if you turn beyond the 180 degrees, look, it turns in the wrong direction.
Frankfurt director, Airbus A310 whiskey with you.
Yeah, I don't think he realises what the minimum fuel call is. But to be fair, it's not an emergency situation. Yeah. But yeah, look, 4 tons, we're burning 4 tons an hour, so we are down to this is actually it's a Mayday fuel call now.
Victor, Alpaca 1 Alpha X-ray, correction 1 Alpha Victor, turn left heading 250
so yeah,
immediately.
I'll contact iniBuilds.
Left 250 immediately.
This is not helping the fuel burn either, climbing. Really not. I'll make sure I'm not doing anything stupid. Look. Gears retracted, flaps are up, speed brakes are stowed. But yeah, I'll be interested to see what the fuel burn is meant to be.
Alpaca 1 Alpha Victor, climb level 70 now. Alpaca 1 Alpha Victor, climb level 70 now.
Lateral 709, Alpaca 1 Alpha Victor.
So yeah, 3.8. So yeah, this is completely off. So my reserves I based 3.1. That's to divert to my alternate. No way I'd get there with that. I'd run out of fuel. This is all wrong. That's so bad. I wish I'd noticed it before the flight. Yeah, 1800 kilos fin res. 30 minutes of fuel remaining. As I mentioned, fin res for us is about 3.8. Yeah, 3.8 tons.
Proceed direct Delta Foxtrot 422.
Proceed direct Delta Foxtrot 422, Alpaca 1 Alpha Victor.
We're very close to fin res now. I don't. Obviously, this is me torn because I don't want to annoy this controller. He seems very stressed, and he might just say, "Yeah, log off then if you've got a fuel problem." Yeah, I mentioned to Innie. I think Innie's fuel burn. It's either the flight plan needs updating, because this is definitely not a fin res for an A310.
Baltic 851 whiskey, you're on another one that's turned to Delta Foxtrot 426. But you have to fly heading 070 after Delta Foxtrot 416. Turn left heading 040.
So he's quite right, to be fair. So yeah, it's flight heading after that point. Oh, I'm a bit torn now what to do.
4893, line grid, correction, director, hello.
Because, yeah, I don't know, he's absolutely
Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha, proceed direct Delta Foxtrot 423, descend 5000 feet, QNH 1008.
Delta Foxtrot 423, 5000 feet, 1008. Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha.
Alpaca 12 Echo, contact tower 124.85. Have a nice evening, bye-bye.
Tower 124.85,
Nav 5000. If we come straight in, we'll be
Alpaca
okay.
1 Alpha Victor, speed 170 knots until 5 miles.
This is touching line Mayday fuel now.
170 until 5 miles, Alpaca 1 Alpha Victor.
QNH 1008. Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha. Do you need any speed? We're still flying the assigned 250 knots.
Alpaca 31 X-ray affirmative.
Did he say fly heading 250240? He said route direct to Delta Foxtrot 423, descend 5,000 feet, QNH 1008. This is squeaky bum time. So yeah, I mean, if the fuel burn was still the same, I'd be comfortable because 3.4 is enough to still divert
Victor, speed 170,
to.
I am accelerating, Alpaca 1 Alpha Victor.
I say AV's getting frustrated by the ATC. Yeah.
Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha, speed 170 knots until 5 miles.
At 170 till 4, Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha. Gladly.
Alpaca 21 Echo Foxtrot, contact tower 124.85, have a nice evening, bye-bye.
So busy. I see airports where roughly we need to be.
220.
Right, 220, very sorry, yes. What's the case?
Simply above, in real life, would you declare Mayday? Now, no, I mean, well, at this point, we have 3.4 tonnes, which is our reserve fuel to get to Frankfurt, so would I call a Mayday? No. The problem is, this flight plan is based on a fuel flow which is far lower than what we're getting in the iniBuilds A310. It says fin res, which is 30 minutes holding, is 1746. We've seen that we're burning 2-3 times that. So the problem is our fin res is now 3 times 1800, so 4 and a bit tons. We're actually less, well, nearly twice that, wasn't 1836. So according to not the flight plan, but what we have on board and our fuel flow, we have 30 minutes of fuel remaining. Flaps 1, he wants 170.
Lufthansa 893,
Not his fault if he's a bit mad at people. No, a few of us have been making a few mistakes on the arrival and stuff.
Baltic 851 Whiskey, speed 170 knots until 5 miles.
170 until 5 miles, Baltic 8 Whiskey.
But yeah,
Alpaca 1 Alpha Victor, contact tower 124.85.
On this is really caught me out. It's so different to what the flight plan said. It's super tight now. So much for our CDA, but we cleared a 5,000. Ghibli glider, uh-oh. How can ATC deal with this in real life? Well, I would have declared a Mayday at this point. We're still 25 miles out. I'm not 100% sure we're going to get an accurate glide slip as well, but that localised deviation, it's a bit off. What was that other ILS frequency? We can tune up if this one doesn't work. 10975, the other one was 1135.
Lufthansa 893, speed 170 knots until 5 miles.
Yeah. Oh, we just go 70.
Baltic 851 Whiskey, proceed direct
6
Delta
tons an hour, we're burning 3.4, so we're not quite Mayday yet. We've got about 35-40 minutes of fuel remaining. It's super tight.
Delta Foxtrot 422, cleared ILS Yankee 25 right.
Proceed direct Delta Foxtrot 22 and cleared ILS Yankee
70, it's too slow, too much drag, 22 miles.
422, yes, confirm.
He wanted me to do 170 knots, but I'm doing what he said, keeping him happy. That's very slow at 22 miles. That's going to really slow down arrivals, but I don't mind as long as I've got a big space in front of me. Oh my days. Yeah, we do. Oh, look, there's an aircraft just off our left somewhere. Can't quite see him. Yeah, we're burning 6 tons per hour here, and we have 3.2. We're just on final reserve now. Oh yeah, Lauren, if we go around, that's a Mayday immediately. Yeah, absolutely. If we're going around, that's a Mayday straight away. And in reality, you just get a very tight circuit. But I don't think they'll accommodate that today. Did we do our landing performance? I don't think we did. It's already set, look, 30, 40, MD8. We've already set the minimums on DH, but we can put that in as well. Five, 8.
Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha, contact tower 124.85. Have a nice evening, bye-bye.
12485, Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha, what am I? Tower, hello, Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha established, 25 right, 170 knots till 5.
Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha, Frankfurt Tower, good evening.
Perfect. Oh, this is by far the tightest we've had on fuel for a stream before ever. I mean, 3.2 is sort of what we landed with a 737 with our reserves intact. But yeah, I mean, obviously the fuel flow's higher because we're configured here to maintain 170. But yeah, this is interesting, very interesting. Now, out of curiosity, because we're actually not quite established on the ILS yet, I'm just going to tune that other frequency because I'm not picking up anything yet. 10975, the other one was 11135, just because I don't think it might be programmed correctly in the sim. There we are, look. Yeah, so that's now picked up a glide slope and localizer. So I'm going to arm full lock initially. Yeah, localizer capture. Glad I changed it now. So it's quite cool that Frankfurt's flying other approaches NOTAM, but I reckon they'll have issues with people trying to intercept the ILS because I had nothing, and now the localizer glide slope's live. We were never cleared approach, but we don't have much choice now.
Bye bye.
3 tons, yeah. So now I'm obviously not going to do it, but yeah, based off what we're getting here, not based off the flight plan. Remember, our fin res on the flight plan is 1800 kilos, but based off actually what the fuel flow is, we'd be now burning into our fin res. They are glide slope capture. Missed approach altitude was 5,000 feet. That's set. Clock on. Change the ILS over.
Zurich 585, holding short November 11.
3 tons. I mean, even in descent here, established on the ILS, we're burning 4 tons per hour.
Apron all 121,
yeah, very interesting.
Bye bye. 1275, Zurich 585, thank you and goodbye.
Right.
251, contact.
Spacing here, decent enough gap here.
Affirmative, contact. Yeah,
okay. I think we'll be okay. That's it's AV ahead.
Sorry, contact found radar on 125.35. Bye bye.
AV, don't you be dilly dallying.
125.35, Shamrock.
I better do some landing checks here.
There 818.
Speed brakes arms. Just got to configure get out. The rest of the checks there, but we're all pretty much done. David Swift, quite useful for you to experience this from real life. I'd far rather not experience it in real life, but yeah, something to bear in mind was the fuel flow in this thing is way in excess of what the... it could be, it might not necessarily be an iniBuilds thing, guys, it could be the flight plan, you know, but the fin res here is 3 point... well, we've already worked out it's 3.6 tons, not whatever the flight plan said, 1.8. No pressure, AV said Edo.
Regulate from the 2 November, contact apron 121 small 750, bye bye.
He's okay, we'll keep the speed to 170, 9 miles, wanted 170 till 5. I just want to slow down now from this. 2.8 tons. Don't forget, I took an extra 30 minutes of fuel, 30 minutes. We haven't really done that much extra. We had some delayed vectors, really. We should have at least 15 minutes on top of that, plus obviously, we still had that, we've used the fuel to divert to our alternate as well. Don't forget that as well. But at 7 miles, I don't care. Get out. Flaps. To 20, I think it is the next one there. Landing checklist. There's no star switches, recall check, speed brakes armed. There we are, left and right tank low level. Select landing flap. 134, 139. That's not going to help with the fuel flow either. But it's just increased the gap. Too much fuel being burned. So flaps 30, 40. Landing gear down 3 green. Just waiting for a landing. Clearance. Checks complete. Yeah. No heroics today. Right, music's off. It's very quiet.
Apron
121, that's not fine. Bye-bye.
Yeah, we can't go around there.
175, Alpha 1 to Echo, ciao.
Yeah, really, unless I get if so, I'm going to have to go straight to like a self-positioning downwind here. 2.8 tons. But the thing is, yeah, the flight plan is way off. Because FinRes 1800, we've still got a ton over that, and we're already into our FinRes now.
Alpha 31X3 Alpha, wind 1 and release 5 knots, runway 255 clear to land.
Runway 25 right, clear to land, Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha. So, that's
Alpha
it.
1, Alpha Victor,
The only thing that's going to let us down is me. I've been cleared to land, check is complete.
Papa, and then November 1 now.
2.6. We've just burnt 200 kilos since we configured to land. To reiterate, in real life, right now, we would have done the Mayday call. We would have Mayday fuel, because we're landing with less than 30 minutes, but well off what the flight plan was saying. Right, I'm probably going to utilise the automation until we get a little bit lower, but once we're on the ground, I can breathe a sigh of relief. There we are, there's Frankfurt aerosol scenery, absolutely rammed here. 2.6 still. Oh my days. I don't think we've landed as tight as this with fuel before. Right. Disconnecting. Oh dear. Probably not a good idea actually. Probably should do an auto land. Right, auto throttle. Just matching my thrust lever up here. Autopilot. All mine. Fuel low level. That message has come up on the ECAM again. Oh, I'm just getting a little bit high here. There we are. Back onto the correct descent profile. Checked. A little bit low on speed here, just recover that speed. Only a couple of knots or so. Tad low, 3 reds. There we are, that's corrected. Back on profile. Checked, a little bit low on speed again, but we keep descending. Right, don't care, we're down, speed brakes up. Reversers, gonna go idle. There we are. 100 knots. 80 knots. Manual braking. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Frankfurt. Not a butter, but we're down.
Station calling, confirm only please.
I'm far happier to have a low fuel situation in this aircraft than I would do in a real one. My goodness me. Our final landing figure. Just clear the... Oh, hold on, because I'll end up on the grass otherwise. Flaps up. Speed brake stowed. Left here onto the taxiway. Wow, that was tweet. Now, interestingly, which way do we want to go? Do you want us to go on Papa 1 or Papa 4? Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha vacated. Papa 1 or Papa 4? Okay. It's not some silly automatic change.
Alpha 31 X-ray Alpha directing the Papa, short number over 1.
Sorry, say again, just confirm Papa 1.
Negative, Papa, short November 1-1.
Papa, hold short of November 1-1. Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha. Understood. Right. Parking brake released.
Airbus A310 Q, established ILS 253.
We still haven't finished yet, we need to find our stand.
Airbus A310 Whiskey, Frankfurt, Tower.
Straight taxi on to takeoff, that's why. I'll leave it on takeoff, it's much brighter. Whew. Yeah, flight plan is chalked. Yeah, something's definitely wrong with that flight plan. Massively wrong. Because I'm sort of inclined to believe that the fuel burn in the iniBuilds is probably quite accurate. The flight plan, final reserves, and alternate fuel is way off. I think for en route, the flight plan is fine, but yeah, when it came to holding and diverting in the final reserves, that was nowhere near correct. Let me just clear this ECAM message here. Weather radar's off. We have 2.2 tons, okay? 2.2 tons of fuel for our final reserve's okay. We're getting a bit tight. Brake temperature's high. Oh my goodness me. I only used auto brake low. Well, I didn't have any reverse to be fair. So we'll clear that message as well. And clear that one. So 2.2 based off our fin res of 1800 kilos is fine, okay? You'd have probably called an estimated approach time, maybe minimum fuel, but based off our fin res of 1800 kilos, 2.2, no problem, alright. However, what did we say that fuel burn was? In the hold, or when we were doing 250, 210 knots level? It was what? Almost 3 times that, wasn't it? It wasn't 4.4. I think we were pushing 7, weren't we? 7 tons an hour? Someone remind me. It was a lot more than that, that's for sure. So we'll try and work out what how much fuel was remaining. 7 tons, we're saying, thank God. So we're saying 7 tons an hour. So yeah, 2.2 based off 7 tons. We're down to less than 20 minutes of fuel. If that, 15 minutes maybe. Yeah, oh god, yeah, yeah, bloody hell. We were down to, we had about 10 minutes of fuel before the engines flame out, basically. So yeah, if you're flying the A310, do not use the A310 sim brief profile, and do not use this average fuel flow to work out your reserves, because that is not what we're getting there. It's, well, you can even see 1800 3.6, that needs updating, or changing. That was tight, uncomfortably tight. That is report, and having to phone someone to see why you got down to that. Now, in reality, if we ever land and having declared a Mayday fuel, it's very rarely going to have been our fault. There's going to be, you know, the planning is done meticulously, this is all accurate. The reason we got into that situation is because we took extra fuel, a lot of extra, 30 minutes, but this is all incorrect and inaccurate. So at the planning stage, we didn't have anywhere near enough fuel, which meant we were a little bit tweaked there. But in real life, usually it gets to that situation if there's a lot of problems, a lot of weather, ATC have not able to be able to expeditiously get you to your diversion or alternate. There's a lot of things have happened to get you to that stage. It happens very rarely, but they do happen. And when you do make that declaration of minimum fuel,
Alpha Go 1, Alpha Victor, contact 8 from all 1 to 1,
you know, it's a whole lot of things have happened in beforehand. But yeah, really interesting to see. And I hope you perhaps guys learn something new about fuel and the seriousness if we got into this situation in real life.
1X3 Alpha, same for you, contact 8 from all 1 to 1, is not 759.
1 to 1.75, Alpha 3 1X3 Alpha, bye. Huge airport here.
Good evening, Lufthansa 233, let's do 5 right.
Lufthansa 233, Frankfurt,
excellent, this aerosol series is gorgeous.
851 Whiskey, Frankfurt,
it's not over yet, we might not get to our stand yet. Yeah, Nico 5, if we'd not taken extra fuel, how much extra fuel did we take, remember? We took 2.1 tons extra. We would have 100 kilos at this stage if we'd not taken any extra fuel. And if we'd taken standard block fuel, that should have been enough, even with the contingency and committing here. We should have landed with enough, but we've landed with the amount of extra fuel we took, basically. That was crazy. Right, better check in with apron control here. Apron, good evening, Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha on Papa Taxiway, hoping approaching November 11th. I'm hoping to have more fuel in my tanks.
Continue taxi via November 11, Lima, hold short of November 8.
And November 11 Lima and hold short of November 8. Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha. November 11 Lima and then hold short of November 8. So it's going to be some sort of second left we take. Go to operator's charts. Yeah, the Jeppy charts. It's not no fault to Navigraph here, but Jeppy charts just are rubbish for taxi. My operator uses Navigraph, it's so much better.
Taxi to gate, please.
Nippon 3558, hello, turn right on Lima, hold short of November 11.
So Lima's basically all the way until we have to turn left, and then already short of November 8. The ATC was very good, very busy. They did well with the amount of traffic there. Hold short, please.
Bye-bye.
Second left here's Lima. short of November 8 here. Oh, well, ironically, nearly crashed into a fuel truck. That's all you can do with there. That was intense, very much, Paul.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
God, look on final, look. Look at that.
Continue via Lima, hold short of
24
November 8
TX
on
here.
Lisbon
I
35.
got onto stand with just shy of a 25-minute taxi. I managed to get us straight in approach, thankfully.
Lucky
Thank you
bag.
for the stream and the bands.
Thank you very much, Modern Nerd, for the 5. Very kind of you. Glad you enjoyed the content as well.
Instructor 31 X-ray Alpha, contact Frankfurt Apron 121.85, bye-bye.
121.85, Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha, bye. Look at that, look, you can see aircraft on final on 25 right, 25 left, I think maybe Centaur, I don't know which one they're using. Look at that, we're in the middle of all of this here. Hold on, I better just make sure.
Contact Apron
Gone as much further than I can. No, November 8's the next one.
121.85 should happen on Lisbon 35.
121.85. Oh no, I didn't like that. April Control, hello, Alpaca 31 X-ray, Alpha on Lima, taxiing to hold short of November 8 gate.
Alpaca 31 X-ray, Alpha, Frankfurt April, good evening, taxi to Victor 122 via Lima, November 3 and November.
Taxi stand Victor 122 via Lima, November 3, November, Alpaca 31 X-ray Alpha. So let's try and find that. November 8, carry on Lima till November 3. Stand Victor 122. There we are, so it's a remote stand.
Lufthansa 8, Papa Mike, Frankfurt Apron, Servus.
Are those stars or planes? They're all aircraft. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 aircraft on final here. Absolutely crazy here in Frankfurt.
Gate Alpha 40,
Mr. Dillon, if I just say I'm going to tell you that, I'm going to send you a more A310 sim brief config for your A310. Yeah, I definitely need it. It's November 8, so we're looking for November 3. Cool, that was...
Frankfurt Apron on Lisbon 35, guten Abend, holding short at November 8.
But yeah, as I said, iniBuilds, I'm not sure if it's ini. It could be, yeah, I think it's the flying plan. I think the iniBuilds thing is perfect.
Frankfurt Apron, good evening. Taxi to gate Charlie 14 via Lima and November 3.
Taxi to stand Charlie 14 via Lima and November 3, on Lisbon 35.
So all that remote stands, everyone's getting parked on here.
Off ground, good evening,
Stripes come off as well.
pushback.
Lufthansa 45 Frankfurt Apron, good evening. Squawk 2011.
Squawk 2011, Lufthansa 45.
Yeah, that was crazy, that approach. I don't think we've landed as tight as that ever before. And, there's nothing we could have done because at the planning stage, the flight plan was saying this is what you need, this is your final reserve, this is your fuel burn. So we went off that. In reality, had we had an accurate flight plan, we would have landed with, I think we would have still had plenty of fuel remaining because we would have just burned the extra fuel we used. We've actually landed now, well, the 2.2, we had 2.1 extra. Yeah, that's tight. I mean, that's getting tight for a 737 now. 2.2, you'd be wanting to divert it at that point. That's reserves you need to divert here. In this aircraft, that is not much fuel. Oh, look, I can see alpacas. Naturally attracted to the herd. I think this is November 3 here. Yep, November 3.
Lufthansa 893 Frankfurt Apron, good evening. Taxi to
Scenery from Aerosoft is very nice, high quality one. Very FPS friendly as well. Beautiful. Luca, any chance to see a Kaitac approach? I'm thinking of taking the 747-200 there, but I need to do stuff to install that scenery and configure an X111, but I'm sure one of the members will definitely help me out with that one.
Ryanair 52 Alpha, stand by, call you.
So stand Victor 122. Jim will help us out here.
Lufthansa 25 Kilo on Lima.
Victor 129.
Lufthansa 25 Kilo, Frankfurt Airport, good evening. Take stand Victor 111 via Lima, November East.
Lufthansa 25 Kilo, Victor 111 via Lima, November East.
Nearly there. Victor 124, I should think. Our next right here is Victor 122. There it is, Victor 122. Here's our stand. Beautiful. Shut down engine number 2. Let's turn off the lights as well.
Left November 5 and like R23.
Lufthansa 25 Kilo, ja, dann Alpha 23 bei November 5.
Alpha 3 via November 5, Lufthansa 25 Kilo, vielen Dank.
Bei der 52 Alpha set fork 202.
Nearly there.
2020,
Stop. There we are. There we are. Other engine shut down. Parking brake is set. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Frankfurt. What a flight. There we are. At least you didn't get lost. Taxied in straight away. My goodness me. Final fuel about then. Let's have a look here. Clear.
West for 5
2 tons of fuel remaining. So yeah, final reserves based off the flight plan, no problem at all. We would have landed with fin res intact just, but we know for sure that is not much fuel left with the inaccuracy of the flight plan there. That is, what was it, 7 tons an hour? That's, yeah, 15, 16 minutes before the engine's flamed out. Unbelievable. Never been tight. First time we declared minimum fuel to ATC, but left him a little bit dumbstruck. I didn't have any response to that, but we're down safely-ish. Oh dear, my goodness me. Well, apart from that, the A310 performed beautifully. There we are on our remote stand, Victor 122. Can't believe that. Let's have a look at some of these comments on the approach. My days. That's the tug at the runway exit, single engine taxi. Yeah, we could have got towed on the stand. Unbelievable. Robin, did he say 4 or 5 miles? Yeah, he wanted 170 till 5, I think it was. We configured a little bit earlier just to increase the sort of gap between myself and I think it was AV ahead of us there. It was super tight. Joshua, there's a more accurate SimBrief airframe in their Discord if you're not already using that. Really interesting, Joshua Feltimo. Yeah, I perhaps should have looked at that. I think the reason was on my first flight in the A310 I used the same profile and it didn't have any problems. But I'm guessing if anyone could find that SimBrief profile, link it to me, that would be great. And I should think it has a much higher fin res and average fuel flow per hour because that was not close. Usually it's the other way round, it's conservative, but not in that case there. Alex George, go big or go home. We'll park on the taxiway. Crazy. Yeah, ILS signal got in. I'm quite happy I changed that to the other frequency because it looked like the one that I didn't work. Now it's great that Frankfurt are simulating NOTAMs and stuff, but I probably don't realise that they're a bit limited with frequencies. Someone did say that the ILS frequency, the other frequency for the ILS on 25 right was working, but it wasn't working for us. I had that tuned. As soon as I switched the other one, I finally got the localizer and glide slope. So, yeah, for them to NOTAM that's going to probably cause headaches for people on the network, so they can't actually pick up the ILS, but maybe, I don't know, it was working for some people, not others. Just to be safe, land 3. Yeah, someone suggested that. It was not too bad a landing. Nixon came a please land. Yeah, that was so tight. So tight. Ria and GGG, we fly to Shannon. Yeah, we could do that one day. I don't think we've ever flown into Shannon before. 2 tons default EDDF in X-Plane is not friendly. Might need to get this scenery. Yeah, this is the Aerosoft one. We're hitting 35 FPS at the moment, but don't forget I'm running streaming software. All the other stuff in the background as well. Lauren, Kaitac is such a faff to get it to work. I can get the localizers but not the glide slopes or DME to work. Yeah, I did look at that and I saw the download file, then it said you had to change all this code and stuff, but I'd love to do the Kaitac there. Right, I think we're all done for the day then. So yeah, I hope you learned something new about fuel planning, and also make sure you take an accurate sim brief operational flight plan. That's the moral of the story here. But yeah, in reality, had we gotten to that situation in real life, it's a 3-step process. The first thing is we ask for an estimated approach time to see what time we're landing. We can then have a rough idea if we need to divert or commit to our alternate. If we see we're going to perhaps land with close to final reserve, but still land with that intact, but any further delays will cause issues with that, we call minimum fuel, which isn't a mayday, it just tells ATC. It's not even a priority. That, look, if you not necessarily keep messing us around, but if we don't get on the approach soon, we have to declare mayday fuel, and then if we ever see we're going to land with final reserves, you must declare mayday. So yeah, it was quite nice to be exposed to that, albeit completely shouldn't have been the case because the flight plan was inaccurate, but there you go. We now know for next time to get an accurate A310 profile. Hopefully that won't happen again. It's kind of exciting, I suppose. Awesome stuff, guys. We'll call it a day. Thanks again to iniBuilds, who always send me copies of their stuff as well. We've already streamed this aircraft. It's available. I think it's 50 quid or something like that. Very reasonably priced and a very accurately modelled aircraft. As I mentioned, that fuel flow burn in this aircraft I think is accurate. The issue was with the sim brief flight plan profile. Right, that's off the network. Thanks to the lovely ATC from air traffic control there. He kept his cool just about the approach controller, but my George, probably didn't help that we were a lot of us, I think, including me, we missed that factor. We started turning, which causes problems and stuff, but it was great fun to fly this aircraft again. Cool, so we'll turn the background music down there. I forgot to turn the beacon light off for all of you ones looking for the comments to criticise, but we'll go straight to the replay anyway. Cue the funky replay music. There we are. So, yes, last time we tried to do replay the sim crash. Hopefully that won't happen again. Let's put ourselves on the threshold there. Right, get a little bit closer. There we are. Slow mo for a second, turn the sounds up a bit. There we are. Oh my goodness, that is very loud, funky music. There we go. A little bit of a crosswind, I think. Sounds like it's awesome. Yeah, boom. We'll probably try a little bit more of a float and a butter on a flight sim platform, but had to get that down there. Again. Yeah, nice. Right in the touchdown zone. Let's wait for idle reverse. And an A300 running on fumes. Or A310, sorry. There we are. Got a tower view, tower's miles away. Yeah, I won't do a tower view, it's too far. Do one more from here. Thanks again, Moen, for the amazing delivery. And to Javelin and everyone that makes the replays. Thank you so much. Sweet. Right, which view are we going to go for here? I reckon an engine view. Right then, guys. Thank you very much for everyone that tuned in for another Flight Deck Sim live stream from Riga to Frankfurt. Mine in the excellent Airbus A310. I hope you found it interesting, learned something new. As ever, thank you to everyone that contributed and donated. That's very, very kind. Never ever required. Appreciate the generosity nonetheless. To all the members, thank you so much for the continued support as ever, and to all my regular viewers and subscribers, thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't done so already, don't forget to smash the thumbs up button. If you're new, subscribe to stay up to date with the latest content. I am back to work on Sunday, so I might be streaming tomorrow on the Flying X gaming channel with the Assetto Corsa race. Otherwise, it won't be anything until the middle of next week unless flight changes will go on standby. As ever, stay safe out there, and we'll see you on another live stream very soon.